The 10-time state champions live here. It's time for Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network. Now let's send it up to the booth with the voice of the Royals, Jimmy Cook.
The 55th season of Roncalli Royals football begins tonight from Bob Tully Field as your third-ranked in Class 4A Roncalli Royals take on the Southport Cardinals. A pleasant good evening, everyone. Alongside me, the great Dan Lauk, I'm Jimmy Cook. Inaugural broadcast for Dan Lauk, taking over for the great Dan Bauer. Dan, glad to have you on scene with us here to kick off another season of Roncalli Royals football.
Absolute dream come true, Jimmy. Obviously, I got to sit in a couple of times last year, missing the great Dan Bauer. I mean, an 18-year run, a legend. Dan's sitting by the fire tonight tuning in, so hope he's having a good time out there.
Well, we thank all of you loyal Royal listeners for following along with us throughout the course of the campaign. And tonight kicks off with a great rivalry matchup. In fact, 3 consecutive weeks of rivalry matchups. Really, when you think about it, you go against Southport tonight and then Franklin Central and Chittard both on the road. But let's start with this Roncalli Royals roster. A lot lost to graduation a year ago after the trip all the way to semi-state. The Royals ultimately fall short of where they wanted to go, a trip to Lucas Oil Stadium. I wouldn't call it a transition year, but a year of young Royals ready for as much experience as they possibly can get.
Yeah, and, you know, it's been a while since we've had this much roster turnover. But I remember growing up, Jimmy, the motto was always tradition never graduates, yep. Right? And that stands true again here this season. You got a lot of kids that have been waiting their turn, and they're motivated, and it's finally their chance to get out there on a Friday night under the lights and show what they can do.
We're going to take our first break. We come back, we'll have a pregame conversation with Royals head coach Eric Quintana. Roncalli kicks off season number 55, Southport, here at Bob Tully Field. We'll have that conversation with Coach Q after this on the Roncalli Media Network.
Flowers and Gifts is your family-owned Indianapolis and Greenwood florist. Our mission is to establish and maintain the highest level of floral value and customer service at comfortable consumer prices. For the best and freshest flowers in Indianapolis and surrounding areas, Steve's Flowers and Gifts has exactly what you're looking for. Check out our wide selection of flower arrangements to make your next occasion memorable. Call 317-787-3431 or visit us at 3150 East Thompson Road.
At Peterman Brothers, we know how critical AC can be to your comfort.
And we want to make sure you're comfortable in every season.
That's why right now when you install a qualifying AC system with Peterman Brothers, we'll include the furnace for free.
That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free.
And if you schedule today, we'll install your new system tomorrow, guaranteed.
Visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule online in seconds.
Never lose your drive to deliver. Today's logistics marketplace is an ever-changing landscape where you can make your mark through dedication and passion. At Spot, these characteristics, along with drive and teamwork, form the basis for a rewarding, fast-paced career.
I'll be with him Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday next week. He's out Wednesday, so it's me.
They've never lost the entrepreneurial spirit that provides the foundation for our continued success. There's never been a time like this, and there has never been a partner like Spot. We're relentless, we are experts, we are accomplished, and like you, we will never lose our drive to deliver. Come find your spot at spotinc.com/careers. Go Royals! This is Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
Welcome back to the Roncalli Royals pregame show. It is finally back with us. High school football on Friday nights across central Indiana. And if you're a loyal listener of the Roncalli Royals, you know that means Roncalli Royals football is back with us. The season opener, Southport comes into town at Bob Tully Field, and joining us for the first time this season, but the second consecutive year, that has a great ring to it, second-year head coach Eric Quintana. Nice enough to spend some time with us as he does each and every pregame. Coach, how you doing?
Doing well. Thanks, Jimmy. It's good to see you. Good to be back, and I'm excited for tonight.
Coach, I can't wait. I've been chomping at the bit all summer. I know you have too. I want to have a brief trip down memory lane because the last time that we spoke was in the lead-up to semi-state against East Central. I know it was a tough battle for the Royals that goes East Central's way in overtime, but
for you as a coach with the expectations of this program, and I told you this after the game itself, but to have a 12-2 campaign and take a group to semi-state in your first year, an incredible accomplishment. I know you guys wanted more out of that, but as you look back at what you guys were able to achieve last year and what you were able to achieve as your first year at the helm of this program, what were your takeaways as you put that to bed and get ready for the start of the 2023 campaign?
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the dot. First and foremost, we had a great group of seniors that will be remembered for a long, long time to come. Not just the way that they played on the field, but the way that they led in just all the aspects of Roncalli, from in the school to on the football field to carrying out the year in athletics that all of our seniors had. Moving on from football and into the development of our athletic programs. That group was just extremely special. And to be the leader of those young men and to see them progress throughout the year outside of football meant just as much as it did inside of football. Speaking of the football season, we set these expectations at the beginning of the year, and I couldn't have had a better group last year than to carry out those expectations and to march into this year into the planning situation with winter workouts and spring football and then into the summer. So kudos to those guys, and they left a long legacy. The game was a heartbreaker. I still think about it probably once or twice a week, but it helped me as a young coach and as a man try to develop our guys into just being champions on and off the field. So kudos to East Central. They went on and dominated that state game, but I thought our guys played as hard as they could. They just got us there at the end. But again, I would like to just redirect it all to that senior class and what a great group of men they were, and I'm proud to be their head football coach.
Coach, you've been a part of championship football for a long time throughout your high school career, but they always say that it's different when it's finally you in charge and you're at the helm. What was the biggest thing you learned about yourself as a coach in that first season?
Yeah, that puts it right on the dot. I've been able to be a part of a lot of programs, but when everyone and everything comes down to your final say, there's just extra weight that's there that you don't feel. Sometimes, they say it figuratively, but sleepless nights and just trying to figure out, I put the pressure on myself as I do my guys to win championships. So that means a lot of time, a lot of dedication. But again, that's why I chose to be the head football coach at Roncalli, and I'm fortunate to have the opportunity that was given to me. And it's been a great learning phase, and I'm really excited for year two of this thing.
Speaking of year two, it gets kicked off with a nice rivalry matchup between yourself and the Southport Cardinals. Unlike last year when we were on the road, it'll be a home opener for you at Bob Tully Field. Let's start first with your group. We talk about the expectations, and once again, a ton of respect, as is expected, with this program. From the coaches poll, I've no doubt it would be with the media poll as well. I thought I saw on Twitter today that there was like an issue with the voting system that they use for that, so there won't be AP ranks this week one. There will be for week two, but we'll go off the coaches poll. Royals ranked third in the state in Class 4A coming in. What are you most excited about with this group?
Yeah, you know what, that hits it right on. The expectations for us will always be long lived on that. And we talk about it throughout the winter, through the spring, and it's a huge focal point on us, not just every week, but every single day, to have championship mentality in everything that we do, from the weight room to the classroom to the field to at home, being a son, being a brother. All those expectations stay high, and our standard stays the same, and that's to win championships. So, and we don't like talking about it a whole lot. We like to reinforce it, but we like to see it on the field. And we've had a great week of preparation. We got a brand new group. We got a brand new team, really. I mean, we returned 2 starters on offense, and off the top of my head, I didn't have it in front of me, but I think we returned 5 starters or 5 rotational guys on defense. So it's a brand new team, and throughout the summer, it's been that process, just being a little more patient with the development of our guys, the game speed of scrimmages and all that good stuff. But it's brought out the most in all of us as coaches to be able to bounce back into it, be the best we could be throughout the offseason, try to perfect our craft, and then just get after it in practice. And I'm extremely proud of our guys for bouncing in right away and keeping that standard the same, and also proud of our coaches showing up every day and trying to lead this young, inexperienced group into a championship season.
Last year, there were many identities on the offensive side of the field for you, but none more imperative than the combination of senior running back Luke Hansen and that incredible offensive front, senior-laden group led by Trevor Lauk up in the trenches. Both those weapons, that cumulative group from the offensive line and then Luke Hansen are gone due to graduation. But at the same time, when you look at what the running game can do, Henry Adams, Ben Brandenburg, they shined throughout their opportunities last year. When you look at what this offense lost and what is there for the taking for them this year, what's going to be your identity on offense?
Yeah, you know what? I think we're going to get to what we truly want. I think as an offensive-minded staff on the offensive side of the ball is we want to be balanced. We really want to be truly balanced. We want to be creative in our game planning week to week. We were also, speaking of last year, we were just going to do what the defense gave us, and that was run the football with a very, very strong and talented offensive line and a tight end group that was really special, and then our running back who was, a record-setting running back. So we were smart on that end, and we're going to have some talent in our backfield, no doubt. We're going to be inexperienced up front. We're going to have some future stars up front with some sophomore starters that we have, and they're tough kids and they're learning fast. But they're not the guys that were there last year. So we're still going to do what we can do to take advantage of defense and take what they give us. We're just going to be a little more creative in our game planning system, and I'm extremely excited for the opportunity to do that each week and to have our guys practice those situations every single day in practice. And we got a new offensive coordinator with Sam Otley, and he's extremely gifted, does a great job, and he's done great so far. So again, I'm just excited for our guys to go out there and play tonight.
When you look at tonight's opponent in the Southport Cardinals, again, this is a rivalry based not just on location, but it's one that's always traced back. Even if I remember my time at Roncalli of the real season opener, you're used to facing off with the Cardinals to begin the year. I know you're not going to give too much of the scouting report away, but what are you expecting tonight from Southport?
Yeah, I got a ton of respect for their head football coach. He's a great young coach. I've been fortunate enough to play him a bunch of times from when he was an assistant in Terre Haute to now being the head coach of Southport, and kind of growing up with each other, being fairly new head coaches to Indiana high school football. So I got a ton of respect for what they do. And they're going to be a tough football team. They got a lot of returners coming back from a season I'm sure that they're not really proud of, but they've done a lot of good things throughout the summer. And watching their scrimmage last week, they got some tough kids. They got some speed. They got some size. So, again, it's going to be a great home opener for us. I expect their best, as we do every single week. And, again, I'm just excited for our guys to showcase the 2023 Roncalli football team and the identity that we've adapted throughout this preparation period.
Can't ask for a better way to start the season with a little Southside rivalry, Roncalli versus Southport, coming up here in just a few minutes. Coach, appreciate you making time for us. And, hey, looking forward to this being a weekly routine like it was last year. Glad to have you back.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Jimmy. Thank you for everything.
That's Royals head coach Eric Quintana. We'll be back with Dan's Keys to the Game after this on the Roncalli Media Network.
Providing comfort for families in their time of need is the main concern of the staff at Lauk Veldoff Funeral Home. We are a small family-owned firm and take great pride in the personal service we offer and the family-like atmosphere at our facility. At Lauk Veldoff, we only serve one family at a time, providing compassionate care and affordable options, truly part of your community. Lauk & Veldoff Funeral and Cremation Services. Call 317-636-6655.
This is Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
Back at Bob Tully Field, kickoff just moments away as your third-ranked Roncalli Royals open the season at Bob Tully Field against the Southport Cardinals. With Dan Lauk, I am Jimmy Cook. Thanks so much for spending part of your Friday night with us here on the Roncalli Media Network as the Royals make their traditional run from the woods through the Royals banner to signal that we are just moments away from kickoff. Without further ado, we'll get into a little bit of how the Royals look to build on the 12-2 campaign from a year ago, how Southport back-to-back losing seasons, back-to-back winless seasons, in fact, looking to make a big statement tonight. But first, let's go over to his first keys to the game. It's Dan Lauk's keys to the game.
All right, Jimmy, fantastic. So, inexperienced team, you heard Coach talk about it. I think getting out of the gates, the biggest thing you want to do offensively is find some rhythm. You don't want 3 and outs. You want to sustain drives, get your quarterback, who's a young kid, a sophomore, to get some solid reps in there, maybe a few quick, easy completions, get the running game going. That's where you have the experience with Henry Adams, Ben Brandenburg, those types of fellas. So offensively, just try to sustain some drives. You don't necessarily have to put up 40 points in the first half. Just gain some confidence with this young team. Defensively, it's all about executing your one responsibility. Okay, so you don't have to be a hero out there. And a lot of times young guys, when they're playing their first games, see ball, go get the ball, and that's not always the best thing to do, right? So execute on your responsibility. Take on the double team. If you're backside, make sure you stay home, those sorts of things. And then the biggest thing, Jimmy, I think off the field for both sides of the ball is not watching the game. It's a weird thing for a young kid to understand that concept. Get over to the bench, talk to your teammates, talk to your coaches, make adjustments. They've got iPads down there now, Jimmy. We never had that when I was playing. They can watch themselves make mistakes, right, and then correct those mistakes on the next drive. So be a smart football player on and off the field as well.
It's tough, and this will be the only – we'll give the shout-out and give the flowers because a long storied career for my former color analyst, Dan Bauer, and a shout-out to Dan if he is listening indeed tonight. By the way, Royals have won the toss. They'll defer to the second half, so Southport will receive. But I can't make the joke that, when you were playing, they, had to –
they had leather helmets with Dan Bauer.
Whether it's leather helmets or I have to say that they sent Morse code down to figure out what the play design or play call was. I can't use any of those same archaic jokes, but I guess I can say they didn't have iPads back then.
That's right.
There's at least some transitional curve from your playing days to where we are now. We mentioned it, the Cardinals winless a year ago, hoping to not only notch that first win this season, but get themselves some momentum and get things going in the right direction. For Roncalli, starting quarterback Jaden Buchanan is week to week nursing an injury, and it'll be Colin Ash getting the start tonight. The sophomore, very fitting. I talked to the coach on the field. He's excited about what the sophomore is going to be able to do out there, but him being a sophomore quarterback leading the charge, very fitting for this group of young underclassmen, 2 juniors and a sprinkling of seniors in there as well.
Yeah.
Very fitting.
And the advantage of being a sophomore, if there is one, you don't know what you don't know. So go out there, play football, have some fun. Colin's a really good athlete, plays multiple sports. He'll be all right. He just needs to get his nerves settled after this opening kickoff, and we'll be good.
It'll be Levi Whistler set to boot it deep. Ricky Sanders back to receive for the Royals. Roncalli getting ready to, as we mentioned, boot it away. Southport operating left to right on your radio dials, as it's an end-over-ender that is fielded at the 2-yard line, dumbling down and taking a knee, in fact, at the 2-yard line. An early miscue for the Cardinals, backpedaling to get that kick. On the far right side was Sanders, but then he stumbled, lost his balance, and took a knee at the 2. Well, not necessarily an indication how this game is going to go, but for Southport, all these expectations of a new season, new page, not the start you wanted out of the game.
No kidding, and it's the perfect start for the Royals. You talk about backing up the offense on the 2-yard line. Pin your ears back a little bit here. Go out, have some fun.
Be Bryce Calvert in the gun. One man in the backfield to his right, 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left on the far left hash at about the 3-yard line. Sends a man in motion, takes the snap. Royals show pressure. It's a handoff to the left side, and it is stuffed out of the gate. maybe a gain of a yard, perhaps two.
So we graduated Luke Schwartz, a 4-year starter last year. You've got a new face in there, number 76, David Wilson, did an excellent job using his hands on that play, pushing the double team back and allowing his linebackers to flow over the top and make the play.
It'll be a loss of 1, in fact. So second 11 ball on the 2-yard line here. First possession of this ball game in the 55th season opener of Roncalli Royals football. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. In the gun is Calvert. Royals just bring 3. Pass over the middle is overthrown, incomplete. Contact was made over on the far left side with A.J. Richardson and the intended target for Southport. That was Austin Van Vels.
Yeah, there was contact, but
inadvertent.
Inadvertent. A.J. gets the benefit of the doubt because he has as much right to that football as the receiver does. He had his eyes on the ball, went to make a play. Actually could have even called offensive pass interference there.
1 wide receiver to the left, 2 to the right in the gun. Operating as Calvert, 3rd and 11 from their own 2. He'll look to the sideline. Royals faithful, getting loud on this 3rd down. Looking for a big stop right out of the gate. Appeared to be in the wrong side was Campbell. Now they'll send a man in motion. Takes the snap, handoff to Campbell, left side. He's going to find the edge, but it's closed down after a gain of 3. It'll be a 3 and out of the gate for the 2023 Southport Cardinals. Not the debut they wanted, but the Royals will lap it all up and be set to return their first punt of the 2023 campaign. Great stop there on the edge by Roncalli.
Yeah, great job stretching that outside zone out to the sideline. You talk about the games within the games. The goal there for Southport being pinned back is to pick up 1 or 2 first downs and play field position. Royals win that battle and hopefully get good field position here themselves.
Sam Rader back to receive the punt. He's at the Southport 40-yard line. Good snap. Punt is bobbled, and it's shanked to the right side of the field. That's going to take a Cardinals bounce. Rader's going to pick it up to 30, to the 25, and he's wrestled out of bounds at the 22-yard line. So heads-up play there by Rader to read the bounce. Took the gamble with 2 Cardinals near him to scoop it up and head off to the races, albeit a quick race. And the Royals will be in business, their first drive of 2023, and their first drive for sophomore quarterback Colin Ash will begin at the Roncalli 23-yard line, Southport 23-yard line.
Yeah, great aggressive play there by Sam Rader to play it off the bounce. And now you talk about fantastic field position. Look for maybe a shot play here right off the bat.
1 wide receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Henry Adams, the junior tailback, to the right side of Ash. Takes the snap, hand off to Adams, and he'll keep churning forward for a gain of about 3. Just right up the middle went the Royals to open things. We expected nothing too exotic or advanced to test the sophomore early. Don't want to say necessarily keep it simple, but play within your means with how this Royals offense is operating.
Yeah, first play of the game, give it to the kid who has a little bit of experience.
Kessler to the far right side, 2 wide receivers to the left. It's a handoff to Adams once again. He'll fight around a tackler, but then be swallowed by 2 Cardinals that were in the area. Maybe a gain of a yard on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and medium.
Not the down and distance you want to be in, so an interesting spot here for the young quarterback in a 3rd and long. We'll see if Coach Otley decides to let one rip here, if they're going to keep playing field position here and keep running the ball.
Ash in the gun as he's been the last 2 plays. Adams to his right, 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left on this 3rd and 7 from the Southport 20. 2-step drop, fires a quick slant. It's caught near the chains. Extra effort. He's going to be spun forward and taken for a Roncalli first down. It was Rudy Shutley on the reception. You can expect him to be a favorite target of this Roncalli offense, and they'll do the hurry up here, 1st and 10 from the Southport 13. Had a neutral zone infraction, a little bit of movement there on the Southport side of the defensive line.
You love to see that, Jimmy, because you got a first-time player making a catch for a first down, a new quarterback making his first completion, and then you get all those young kids up to the line and they don't jump, and you make the other team jump. Fantastic disciplined football by the Royals there.
Got to make Coach Quintana happy with the discipline along the offensive line. It'll be 1st and 5 now. Ball on the Southport 7. 9:05 to play in this first quarter. We're still scoreless. Royals trying to cash in off the short punt by the Cardinals. 3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ash, he'll roll left. Option pitch. Adams to the left sideline into the end zone for the first Royals touchdown of the season. Henry Adams from 7 yards out, and the Royals draw first blood in this Southside rivalry. It's 6-0 Roncalli.
Great job across the board there, Jimmy. Colin Ash did an excellent job with his eyes, staring straight at that defensive end to make him pause for just a second, flips it out to Adams, and then excellent blocking on the perimeter. You had 3 wide receivers out there. All 3 of them were more aggressive than their defender in front of them. Results in 6 for the Royals.
Levi Whistler on to attempt the point after try to make it 7-0 Roncalli. Quick twist to the hips. Good snap, and it's partially blocked, though. The hold was bobbled, and it will be 6-0 Royals. So Southport, something to hang their hat on, but a lot to be happy for the Roncalli Royals. They cash in on the short punt and short field that the Cardinals gave them to strike first. Henry Adams from 7 yards out. 6-0 Royals. Back after this on the Roncalli Media Network.
Meet Zach. Zach rides everywhere, day and night, rain or shine. At Indiana Members Credit Union, we know Zach. We know he's been saving up for a car. We're here to help Zach and you. Now get pre-approved for auto financing with great low rates. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters. Rates subject to credit approval and valid on purchase of 2020 or newer vehicles. Learn more at imcu.com.
This is Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
$8:50 to play in this opening quarter. 4 plays, 23 yards. Pay dirt for Henry Adams on a 7-yard touchdown run to make it 6-0 Roncalli. And their kickoff to start drive number 2 took a precarious bounce to 1 yard line and then went into the end zone. I'll use this brief period for a Madden rant here, Dan. I always get worried whenever I let a kick go because it takes that high bounce to 1, and it's like if that thing doesn't go in the end zone, it's all hands on deck and panic bells start to go off.
Yeah, especially after that opening kickoff, Jimmy. I mean, good job, Levi Whistler, 2 in a row, putting it down there inside the 5. That one, luckily for the Cardinals, ends up in the end zone.
2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right as Bryce Calvert and the Cardinals look to respond. They'll have it 1st and 10 from their own 20. 8:50 to play first quarter, 6-0 Royals. 3-step drop. Calvert looks, airs one out on a go ball, and it's incomplete. He overshot his intended receiver. Good coverage there by Bryce Heimlich on the left side. It'll bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, very good job by Bryce there to get on the top hip, get his hand on the hip, and then turn and find the ball. So he was in control of that route the entire time, wasn't trailing behind. He was on top of the route the entire time, but ready to break on any comebacks or anything like that. Great coverage there.
He was looking for Donovan Brewer, the intended receiver. 2nd and 10 from their own 20. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Calvert takes the snap. He'll hand off left side, and the Royals are there right out of the gate. Maybe a loss of 1, a trio of Royals there on the stop.
Unfortunately, I didn't see who it was, but the Royals came out with a blitz there from Southport's sideline and just
Dylan Henry was first one out.
My goodness, he just absolutely blew up that kickout block, and that obviously led to the rest of the Royals being able to make the tackle.
Dylan Henry, an impact player a year ago, hoping to have repeat success in his senior campaign. It'll be 3rd and 10 from the Southport 20. 3 wide receivers to the left, none to the right. Calvert has Campbell to his right side. Royals initially show blitz, and now they'll hold off. Looking to the sideline is Calvert, and the Cardinals want a timeout to talk things over. We'll take one with them as well. 8:01 to play here in this opening quarter. Roncalli leads it 6-0. Big 3rd down upcoming after this.
At Peterman Brothers, we know how critical AC can be to your comfort.
And we want to make sure you're comfortable in every season.
That's why right now when you install a qualifying AC system with Peterman Brothers, we'll include the furnace for free.
That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free.
And if you schedule today, we'll install your new system tomorrow, guaranteed.
Visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule online in seconds.
This is Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
Back at Bob Tully Field with Dan Lauk, I'm Jimmy Cook. 3rd and 10 for the Southport Cardinals. Your Royals looking for another big stop as they lead at 6-0 with 8:01 to play here in this first quarter. Ball on the Cardinals' own 20-yard line. A wide receiver to the right, 3 to the left, and then a pitch out on the snap. It's tossed to the left side, and the Royals are there to swallow it up for no gain, but there is some laundry on the field. Have to see what the flag's about. That was a pitch out over to Van Vlies.
Yeah, you got a little triple option there from the Cardinals. Sent that slot in motion behind the formation. The quarterback makes that first read, pulls it, and then flips it out to the running back. Great job by Sam Rader to come downhill, stay square, shuffle his feet, knowing that it's 3rd and long. You don't need to run up there aggressively and make the tackle. Yeah, excellent play there.
It'll be holding against the Cardinals. The Royals will decline it to make it 4th down. So 4th and 10 from the Southport 20, and it'll be back-to-back 3-and-outs out of the gate for the Cardinals. Speaking of Sam Rader, as Dan highlighted, making his presence felt on that play, he'll be back to receive his second punt of the night. He'll stand at the Roncalli 45-yard line. Fabian Tapscott ready to punt this away. He stands at the Southport 9.
Cardinals
a little trouble with the snap last time. Bobbled it a bit.
Yeah, they're short a player, too. They've only got 10 out there right now.
Well, it appears they're going to go with 10. Or try to anyway. And now we'll have another timeout taken by the Cardinals. A miscommunication there from their personnel group. We will keep it right here with 7:27 to play in this first quarter. We've talked about it going in, that Southport has had their struggles over the last 2 seasons, but it's not due to a lack of trying. They're trying to build something and return Southport back to where they want to be as a football program. And when you have all that hype and the anticipation, and away from the Roncalli side, you look around at the simulator models or the Sagarin models, this is a game that Roncalli is expected to win going away, so you know that's used as bulletin board material within the Southport locker room, and then to have the miscues they've had to start has to be frustrating as a coaching staff.
Yeah, Jimmy, and you look at the series going back to 2008 when it restarted, it's 7-7.
Yep.
This is a competitive series, and I know it's been lopsided the past few years, but this is a fresh season. Both teams are 0-0. You got to be disappointed if you're the Cardinals with the way you've started, but really, really happy if you're the Royals so far with the discipline that we're seeing.
Again, 4th and 9. Cardinals set to punt it away, and the snap is fumbled. We mentioned there were problems with the snap that last time through for Fabian Tapscott, and he lost it again, but this time he wasn't able to get it away. So he's taken down at about the Southport 8. You couldn't script a better start to the 2023 campaign for the Royals. They'll be in business. It'll be 1st and goal from the 9.
Yeah, taking advantage of opportunities. You've already got several players. We already talked about Sam Rader. Now Dylan Henry's had his fingers all over this game so far. Ends up making that tackle there in great field position, obviously, again, Jimmy.
Henry Adams to the left side of Ash. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. That's Kessler on the far left side, Shutley on the far right. Ash takes the snap, looks for a screen out in the flat to Adams. He catches it, and a shoestrung tackle at about the 3. He was looking for more, wanted his second touchdown of the ball game, but a TD saving tackle by the Southport defense makes it 2nd and goal from the 4.
Yeah, good play by Roncalli there. I'm not sure that was the play that was called. Southport came out in a heavy front, and then, the check is usually you see that front and the box loaded. All right, let's flick it out there to one of our best players, Henry Adams, and see what he can do in space.
It'll be 2nd and goal from the 4, 6:50 to play first quarter. 6-0 Royals. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. In the gun is Ash. He'll hand off to Ben Brandenburg, who will walk into the end zone, but a flag. That might be holding on the Royals. That was thrown near the offensive line, and it will indeed be a penalty against Roncalli. So Brandenburg's walk-in will be waved off.
Yeah, it's too bad. You got Ben in there. Henry and Ben are both strong kids. Ben's a little bit bigger. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him be more of the goal line back, especially with him playing full-time defense as well. That's one of the miscues there, Jimmy. You talk about it, it's 2nd and 3, 2nd and goal from the 3. You can't have those types of penalties, but this is the type of thing where you just got to learn from it, reset your head, move on to the next play.
So it'll be 2nd and goal now from the 14 after the penalty yardage moves the Royals back 10. One wide receiver to the left, one to the right. Ash once again on the gun, has Brandenburg to his left side. Sends a man in motion, takes the snap, handoff Brandenburg. He'll let a hole develop and is swallowed up after spinning out of a couple would-be tacklers. Maybe a gain of 3. It'll bring up 3rd and goal.
Yeah,
They'll call it a gain of 1, in fact.
An awkward start to that play. I had thought that the Southport end to the field had jumped early, but apparently not. So big play here, 3rd and goal, about 13 yards to go. We'll see what Coach Otley draws up.
Well, if you're trying to play for 6 here and assuming you're not rolling with 4-down territory in the opener, who is to say you could be, but this might be the first real opportunity for a long-distance pass from Colin Ash. Let's see, though. It's a bunch formation to the right and one wide receiver to the left. Ash takes the snap. He'll roll right, looking for something in the flat. Pressure comes. He turns, he throws cross-body, and it's incomplete. He was looking for his intended target in the far back of the end zone. That was Christian Sweezy, but he left it about 5 yards short, and the Royals will be forced to attempt a field goal.
Yeah, it's a tough play there. You understand wanting to roll to the field with the flood pattern there and all the receivers giving him a little bit more space. But with Colin Ash being a lefty, it's really hard to be able to get your shoulders turned there and fire in a strike, especially with the Southport defenders in hot pursuit. So let's see if Levi can knock this one through.
Be a 24-yard attempt. Good snap, good hold. Whistler's kick is good. That's a great sign for the senior. You're going to NBC it for me, say what it would have been good from?
Well, yeah, that might have been 50 yards. I mean, he almost put that in the woods back there. Great job, Levi.
Whistler was warming up from deep. We saw him out there, and he's looking forward to the full-scale opportunities in front of him this season. 1 for 1 on the year. Makes it 9-0 Royals. We'll take a quick break and return after this on the Roncalli Media Network.
When looking for reliable HVAC professionals, look no further than Ane and Bartram Heating and Cooling. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an emergency repair on a heating or cooling unit, Ane and Bartram are available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Ane and Bartram strive to be the best, so call them today at 317-889-9574. They even have 24/7 emergency service. Call them today, Ane and Bartram, 317-889-9574.
9-0 at Bob Tully Field with 5:51 to play in this opening quarter. Your Royals out in front of the Southport Cardinals. Levi Whistler, fresh off a 24-yard attempt, set to boot it deep. And it's been a special teams nightmare so far for Southport. They'll field this at the 5, take it all the way out to the 20-yard line. Handful of Royals there to make the stop. And it'll be the first real positive field position outside of the touchback last drive for the Cardinals to work with. But they've had issues with returns, with the punting game, and the Royal defense has been able to take advantage of a handful of errant throws as well. So it's been a tough opening stretch for the Cardinals here. Royals won't complain about it. We'll try to continue to force those miscues. Bryce Calvert in the gun with 3 wide receivers, bunch to the right. It's a handoff up the middle that's taken by Campbell, and he'll drag a couple tacklers 4 yards to the Southport 25-yard line.
Yeah, it's still very early in the first quarter here, Jimmy. The worst thing you can do as a Roncalli player is to relax and get comfortable with how things have gone so far.
Calvert in the gun. A running back to the right side is Campbell. 1 wide receiver to the left, 2 to the right as Calvert looks to the sideline for instructions with 15 on the play clock. Roncalli in front, 9-0, have forced back-to-back 3-and-outs to open this game against the Cardinals. Calvert sends a man in motion, takes the snap. It's play action. Throw over the middle is caught in stride. Reception is made all the way to the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Cardinals. Caden Asher, the tight end. It was a throw over the middle. The Royals nearly had a fingertip on it. Could have easily been an interception. But instead it's a house call. There is a late flag, but it was thrown in the direction of the end zone. after Asher had crossed the goal line. As it stands, 9-6. Royals lead down to 3.
Yeah, I think we're going to get excessive celebration. He spiked the ball in the end zone there. Just a classic mistake. You see this a lot from young defensive backs. Sam Rader got his eyes in the backfield a little bit there, where his eyes should be on that tight end. We talked about it pregame. You've got your one responsibility every play. Coach isn't going to ask you to do too much. One responsibility, keep your eyes where they're supposed to be, and you'll be all right. You get your eyes caught in the backfield on the play action, this is what can happen. So now we got ourselves a game. But that penalty could end up being big. That's a 15-yarder. It looks like maybe the Royals are going to take it on the kickoff.
Caden Asher caught that pass in stride and was off to the races. And as Dan mentioned, it looks like that'll be added on at the end of the kickoff. Or correction, let's see. They're going to force it on the point after try.
Yeah, I agree with this, especially with the Royals already missing one. This could be a big extra point here. If you can keep Southport from getting this extra point, you remain up 3 instead of 2.
So now effectively what makes this a 35-yard field goal attempt, even though it's a point after try, in terms of just distance where you're looking at. This is no longer a gimme for Southport. Good snap, good hold, kick on the way, and it is no good. Pushed it to the right. So the election to force that penalty on the point after try pays dividends, but as Dan mentioned, it's a ball game in the blink of an eye. Southport within a score. Roncalli still leads 9-6 with 4:54 to play in this first quarter. Royals look to respond when we return on the Roncalli Media Network.
Hi folks, it's Ben Stallings with Beck Service Center. Automotive breakdowns and routine maintenance never come at a good time. Let us help take the stress out of your automotive repairs. With 10 mechanics and 32 bays, we can get you back up and running with minimal downtime. Quality parts, experienced mechanics, locally owned and operated since 1977. Located at the southeast corner of Madison and Edgewood, we are pretty darn good at fixing cars. Let's go Royals.
This is Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
2 plays, 79 yards, capped off with a 76-yard touchdown pass from Bryce Calvert to Caden Asher. Cardinals missed the point after try. Excessive celebration leads to a longer than expected PAT, and it makes it 9-6. So both teams have scored touchdowns. Both teams have missed PATs. The lone difference, that Levi Whistler 24-yard field goal that made this a 9-0 ball game before that touchdown from Asher makes it 9-6 with 4:54 to go here in the first quarter. Royals looking to respond, and they'll await the kickoff. It's a short kick that'll be taken at about the 15-yard line by Brandenburg. Out to the 20, now to the 25, has a blocker to the 30, trying to break a tackle. He will not. It'll be 4 Cardinals there to bring him down at the Roncalli 32-yard line. But able to push it up for a positive gain on the kick return, and Roncalli will have their longest drive, hopefully longest drive, of the season. The very young season, when you look at what's happened so far tonight, Dan. It's been special teams miscues. That's the first stretch where Southport has something positive and has Roncalli in their own territory.
Yeah, going to have to put a drive together now. You got to pick up some first downs, keep some momentum going. We talked about it before the game. Get some rhythm, sustain a drive here.
1 wide receiver to the right, 2 to the left. 1st and 10 from their own 32. Ashen shotgun has Adams to his left side. Claps once, takes the snap, give it to Adams. He has a huge hole, breaks one tackler, and he'll get a 12-yard carry out of the gate to move the chains for the Royals.
Great play call there. You got a little power action. Good kick out. When you hit that kick out, the defender, especially in the defense, the even front defense that Southport is playing, they're going to try to spill that. I believe it was Charlie Elsner. It might have been a pulling guard that was able to avoid the spill and open it up there for Henry Adams.
1st and 10 from the Royals' own 45-yard line. 1 wide receiver to the left, none to the right. Bunch formation to the right side. Handoff. Adams tries to churn forward and gets undercut after a gain of a couple. Call it a gain of 2. Be 2nd and 8 from the Royals' own 47-yard line.
Key here, Jimmy, is to pick up, make it a 3rd and manageable. You don't want to be in 3rd and 8 here. You want to be in, 3rd and 5 or less. So I would expect another power run here from the Royals and Coach Otley to see if we can get it in that manageable position.
2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ash once again in the gun, has Adams to his left side. Claps once, takes the snap. Give is to Adams, makes one man miss, lowers the shoulder, and going to be close to the first down yardage necessary. They'll say he's about a yard short. But you mentioned it, they go with a little power run action, and it sets up 3rd and very manageable, 3rd and 1. In fact, for the Royals, they cross midfield.
Yeah, you'll see that a lot, sending our H-back across the formation post-snap. It's called a little wham action to kick out the end on the backside, creates a little vertical seam.
1 wide receiver to the right. Bunch formation near the line to the left. Handoff, Ash to Adams. He is spun from behind, but able to get the first down yardage. Imagine if you have somebody that's kind of just running forward and then you just try to yank him from behind. That's what happened to Adams, but he almost tried to spin with his momentum. Either way, he kept moving those legs forward and able to pick up the much-needed first down.
Yeah, good tough run by Adams there to keep the legs churning. You're now on the plus side of the field. We talk about sustaining drives. First down here, pick up 5 or 6 yards, you'll be in great shape.
1st and 10 from the Southport 43, 2:50 to play in this first quarter. Royals lead it 9-6. Ash looks to the sideline, 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Adams in the backfield with him. Hands off to Adams. He's got a blocker in front of him to the 40, 35-30, 25-20, 15, one man to beat, and he's forced out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. Henry Adams full speed ahead, and great work up front by the offensive line to create that hole.
Yeah, they went back to their bread and butter there, a little power. It looked like Zane Baker, the right guard, pulling around there, had a nice kick out. Charlie Elsner coming around again from that weak side, coming around from the H-back spot. Wasn't anybody there for him to block initially, so he turned his head upfield, found a backer, created another vertical seam for Henry there.
Royals in the red zone for the 3rd time tonight. 1st and 10 from the Southport 14. Ash takes the snap, handoff up the middle, and taken for a couple there. Rogan Benich on the carry, the junior being rotated in. Able to pick up a nice positive gain, call it a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6 from the Southport 10. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Once again, it's Benich in the backfield, and we have a whistle and a flag thrown by the near side official. It's going to be encroachment on the Cardinals.
It's the 2nd time this game, Jimmy, where the Royals have got up to the ball quickly and forced the Cardinals to make a mistake. And you know, it's not something that an offensive coordinator is always comfortable with a young team to be able to run at that pace. So far, so good. The discipline of the Royals is what's standing out to me so far.
It'll be 2nd and 1 now. Ball in the Southport 5 with 2:05 to play in this first quarter. 1 wide receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Benich in the backfield next to Ash. It's handoff to Benich. He bounced it outside, trying to find an opening, and he will curtail his way into the end zone. Rogan Benich, his first touchdown as a Roncalli Royal from 5 yards out. The Royals extend their lead. It's 15-6 with 1:55 to go in this opening quarter.
That whole drive was a story of the guards, Jimmy. They're unheralded, right? The offensive linemen. That time it was Jaffe's turn to be the pulling guard from the left side and get the kick out. Rogan made a nice cut to bounce it out once everything got junked up. Great response by the Royals.
Royals missed their first point after try. It was a rough hold and led to a blocked kick by the Cardinals. This time it's a perfect snap, a perfect hold, and it is right down Prague that time for Levi Whistler. Royals extend their lead to 10 with 1:55 to play in this opening quarter. They lead the Southport Cardinals 16-6. Back in a moment on the Roncalli Media Network.
At Peterman Brothers, we know how critical AC can be to your comfort.
And we want to make sure you're comfortable in every season.
That's why right now when you install a qualifying AC system with Peterman Brothers, we'll include the furnace for free.
That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free.
And if you schedule today, we'll install your new system tomorrow, guaranteed.
Visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule online in seconds.
This is Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field. Alongside Dan Lauk, I'm Jimmy Cook. Royals out in front of the Southport Cardinals, 16-6 in this, the 55th season opener of Roncalli Royals football, thanks to a 5-yard touchdown run by Logan Benich. 7 plays, 68 yards, time of possession, 2 minutes and 59 seconds. Whistler set to boot it away, and he'll kick it towards the far left side of the field, and it is bobbled, and it's going to go out of bounds. The Southport Cardinals yet again a miscue on special teams. This time it's Braylon Koenig, who, the age-old adage, he was ready to run before he caught the football. It bounced right off the top of his shoulder pads, rolls out of bounds at the Southport 5.
Yeah, you just talk about self-inflicted wounds there, Jimmy, and it's been nonstop for Southport thus far, and that's really tough for a team. When you talk about, they've had 2 really tough seasons in a row. They haven't won a game since 2020. They've got some players that, I was watching in warm-ups thinking, woo, this is going to be a game, and but you can't, if you're not disciplined enough to avoid those mistakes, you can't use your athleticism to your advantage.
I was wrong. It went out at the 4. 1st and 10 from the Cardinals' 4-yard line. The 3rd time tonight they've started inside their own 20. Handoff right up the middle for a gain of 2 to Tierra Campbell.
Great job again there by David Wilson. I've mentioned his name twice now, but he's doing a great job from that nose spot. It was one thing I was going to watch. That spot in this defense is so big because if you're able to occupy those double teams, it frees up the linebackers behind you. He's not only occupying his blockers, he's splitting them. And he was, 3 or 4 yards in the backfield that time. Sam knew as well. So great position here for the Royal defense.
1:20 to go in this first quarter. Royals lead at 16-6. 2nd and 11 from Southport's own 3-yard line. Take the snap, 3-step drop. Royals bring pressure. It's a screen to the left side. It is caught, but tacklers all around will make this forward progress. Probably no gain on the play.
Man, I tell you what, that's a great play by Bryce Heimlich. It was a good play call by the Cardinals. They ran a little screen out to the perimeter there and caught Roncalli in some pressure. They had plenty of blockers out front, but 2 or 3 Royals at least were able to beat their blocks and make the play there for 3rd and long.
It's a loss of 1. It'll be 3rd and 12 from Southport's own 2 with 43 seconds to go in this first quarter. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Calvert looks to the sideline, has Campbell near his right side. He's directly on the far left side of the end zone, in the end zone. On the Roncalli L. He'll work. Takes the snap, throws deep, and it's picked off and intercepted at the 30-yard line. In coverage on the far right side. Able to make that play is Sam Rader. You mentioned him earlier in the broadcast, Dan. He's making his presence felt. Heck of a opportunity to high point the ball and make that interception.
How about this, Jimmy? They got the golden
we got golden shoulder pads.
Golden shoulder pads as their little turnover.
It's their turnover chain.
Yeah, I love it. But we talked about it on the drive where Sam got beat. His eyes were in the wrong place. Looked like Roncalli was in some quarters coverage there where you're going to read the second wide receiver, see what he does. He got a little out route from that number 2 wide receiver, opened his hips, got up over 1, and then found the ball and made a great play. So great job reacting and learning on the fly from Sam Rader there.
2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right for Colin Ash. 1st and 10 from the Southport 28. He's going to scramble, look, throw down the near sideline, and the catch could not be made by Christian Sweezy. Tried to get that foot down on a toe tapper, but could not. He's forced out of bounds on that far left side of the field. And it'll bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, pretty good ball there from Colin and a great catch by Sweezy. Just wasn't able to get the foot down. You want to see Colin rolling out to his left side. That's a much more comfortable side for him, but he's still got to get those shoulders around to where it's all footwork for young quarterbacks. Once he gets that, he's got the strong enough arm to be a really effective quarterback.
Sweezy and Shutley to the left side. I believe that's Kessler on the far right side on this 2nd and 10 from the 28 of Southport. Handoff to Adams. He's going to go and break 3 tackles before being thrown down from behind, well in advance of the chains inside the red zone. He has the Roncalli offense. That breakneck speed, thought he might take that into a house call. But nevertheless, Roncalli very satisfied with that run as it's 1st and 10 from the Southport 14 now. Quick snap. Handoff Adams once again. Waits, now goes full head of steam. He'll pick up 4 in what will be the final play of this first quarter. Heavy dose of Adams as we expected. It's been a simple but effective offensive outlook for the Royals in that opening quarter. Adams and Benich each reach pay dirt at the end of one quarter of play. Roncalli on top of Southport, 16-6 second quarter, right after this on the Roncalli Media Network.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
Harding-Poorman is a full-service printing and brand communications company. From creative services and strategy to print, signage, digital output, warehousing and fulfillment, mailing, storefronts, and even mobile solutions. They are dedicating to helping their clients get the most out of their brand communication efforts with the quality they can see and results they can be sure of. Get the most out of your brand communications. Certified to be the best, Harding-Poorman.
This is Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field along with Dan Lauk. I am Jimmy Cook. First play of this second quarter results in what seemed, at least from the Southport sideline, that perhaps it was a live ball for just a second, but either way, Roncalli able to get on top of that. Charlie Elsner there. So it'll bring up a loss of 2 for 3rd and 7. Ball on the Southport 11.
First down, still in the range of opportunities here, so you don't have to score necessarily.
2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ash takes the snap, play action, rolls, quick pitch pass up ahead. It's caught and near the goal line, diving for the pylon. Let's see where the mark is. They'll be down short at the 1. Charlie Elsner on that little pitch pass in motion.
Like I said, Jimmy picks up the first down there, so you get a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and goal from the 1. Smart play there by Colin Ash to get it out to his playmaker there, Elsner, and let him run with it instead of Colin.
First and goal from the 1. Handoff, Brandenburg, spinning, turning, trying to break the plane, and he did. Touchdown Royals. Ben Brandenburg now joins the running back scoring party along with Benich and Adams. It's 22-6 Roncalli with 10:59 to play in this second quarter.
Ben's a big, strong kid. Got stuffed initially, but kept the feet moving. Got his back turned actually to the goal line, but kept his feet moving. Was able to fall into the end zone there.
Whistler set to attempt the point after try. He is 1 for 2 on the evening. Good snap, good hold. Kick on the way, and it is good. Royals start the second quarter the same way they did the first quarter, with an offensive scoring drive. They lead it 23-6 with 10:59 to play here in quarter number 2. Back in a moment on the Roncalli Media Network.
At Peterman Brothers, we know how critical AC can be to your comfort.
And we want to make sure you're comfortable in every season.
That's why right now when you install a qualifying AC system with Peterman Brothers, we'll include the furnace for free.
That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free.
And if you schedule today, we'll install your new system tomorrow, guaranteed.
Visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule online in seconds.
This is Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
$10:59 to play in this second quarter. Advantage Royals over the Southport Cardinals, 23-6. Whistler sends a line drive end over ender that will go into the end zone for a touchback. Southport had to duck and cover to avoid touching that football. but they do indeed get the touchback they were looking for. They'll start things off at the 20-yard line.
I think we mentioned it last year, Jimmy. Levi is not just a kicker. He's a linebacker, too. He's a big, strong kid with a big, strong leg, and he pushed that all the way back. It wasn't wind-aided either. That flag is completely still, so you love to have a kicker that can start you off at the 20 every time.
Ordinarily, we won't call this out, but I appreciate everybody for letting us know on the technical difficulty side of things. If for some reason that does continue, please send the text in the same places that you did, and we'll try to get that sorted out. Thank you so much for being along for the ride with us here in the season opener. 1st and 10 for the Cardinals. Ball on their own 20-yard line. Royals lead 23-6. It'll be a handoff over on the far side. That's taken to about the 32-yard line.
Yeah, Cardinals able to get the edge there. It was a little outside zone play, and Tierra Campbell able to get outside at one of the first positive gains the Cardinals have had today.
They'll mark that about 4 yards shorter, so it's 2nd and 2. Still an 8-yard gain. Ball now on the 28-yard line of Southport. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Takes the snap as Calvert. Rolls right, has time, fires into the flat, and it's incomplete. Good coverage there by the Royals. A.J. Richardson was there in coverage. Brings up 3rd and 2.
Not a bad throw there by Calvert. Really what made that play there was Dylan Henry's drop coming from that outside linebacker spot. You talk about a kid that played safety last year. Really nice disciplined drop. He didn't go up the quarterback, stayed in the flat there, made the ball sail a little bit.
2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Hard count there by Calvert. He has Campbell once again in the backfield with him. On this 3rd and 2 from their own 28-yard line. Calvert takes the snap. Handoff is nearly lost. It is lost. Body's on the deck. Campbell, I think, fell right back on it. But let's see. He bobbled the snap initially, tapped into the air himself. Then it bounced off his chest, hit the turf, but he fell right on top of it. So he did recover it and had enough to pick up the Cardinals' first down. So flair for the dramatics all around by the Cardinals, but they are able to move the chains. It's 1st and 10 from their own 32-yard line. Two wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Again, another hard count by Calvert. Now he looks over to the right sideline. Gives directions to his offensive line. Now looks on either side for his receivers. Calvert takes the snap. Give is to Campbell, and he is met with force by a trio of Royals.
Yeah, it looked to be a very clear hold there by their right guard, but it wasn't called, obviously. Good job by the Royals to rally to the football.
Casey Horton among the tacklers there for Roncalli. Call it a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8. Ball on the Cardinals' own 34-yard line. 23-6. Royals lead by 17 with 9:13 to go in this first half. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Calvert. Goes the hard count again. Now takes the snap. Play action. Fires. Deep ball over the middle of the field. Incomplete. Overshot his intended receiver. That was Nyland Compton he was looking for. Bring up 3rd down.
Pretty good coverage there by the Royals. Heimlich got beat a little bit, but he was helped by his teammates. The linebackers had nice drops there to make the quarterback force a bit of a lob throw instead of being able to strike it in there to number 14, Nyland Compton.
Brings up 3rd and 8 from their own 34. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. High snap. It's a screen given to Campbell on the right side. He is met with authority by 3 different Royals. J.J. Pendergast leading the charge. Loss of a yard on the play, maybe 2, and it'll bring up 4th down. And once again, we'll see the Southport Cardinals punting unit.
3rd time I'm mentioning his name, and he's just constantly making plays. So Dylan Henry again there from the outside linebacker spot. Saw that play immediately, beat his blocker, and forced that play to cut back inside to his teammates. So excellent discipline, excellent defense there by the Royals to force this punt.
Sam Rader back to return, stands on the Roncalli 43-yard line. Fabian Tapscott trying to boot it deep. And a timeout taken by Southport. That's their last of the half. we will take one with them. With 8:12 to play in this second quarter, 4th and 9 upcoming. Royals set to receive the punt after this on the Roncalli Media Network.
Never lose your drive to deliver. Today's logistics marketplace is an ever-changing landscape where you can make your mark through dedication and passion. At Spot, these characteristics, along with drive and teamwork, form the basis for a rewarding, fast-paced career. Take it from our Roncalli co-founder and our dynamic group of Royals alumni. They've never lost the entrepreneurial spirit that provides the foundation for our continued success. There's never been a time like this, and there has never been a partner like Spot. We're relentless, we are experts, we are accomplished, and like you, we will never lose our drive to deliver. Come find your spot at spotinc.com/careers. Go Royals!
This is Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
Back at Bob Tully Field, 4th and 9. Punt is away, and it's taken by Sam Rader. He has to backpedal a little bit for it and returns it all the way to about the Roncalli 32-yard line. We'll call it the 33, in fact.
Yeah, Jimmy, I talked before the game about the lack of experience from the Royals. And if you notice, the few kids that do have experience that are back, they're in different positions. So I already mentioned Dylan Henry was a safety, moved down to outside linebacker. Ben Brandenburg was an outside linebacker, now playing middle linebacker. So even the guys with experience are still learning on the fly, as is everybody else who's never played on a Friday night.
A lot of growth opportunities. Can't be afraid to make mistakes, but also want to continue to grow drive by drive. It'll be 1st and 10 from the Royals' own 32-yard line. Ash, a quick pass to Sweezy on the right side. He takes it, spins and turns, and battles his way on the sideline to the 41-yard line. He'll be about a yard short of that first down.
Yeah, RPO play there. You saw the pulling guard, so they were set up to run power, but Ash clearly saw the defensive back off his receiver, decided to pull it, flip it out there for a quick 9. 10, actually. They're going to give him the first down.
They will move the chains. I mean, you and I both thought he was about a yard short, but officials say otherwise, and it'll be a first down gain there. So 1st and 10, ball on the Royals' own 42-yard line. Wide receivers bunched to the left and one to the right. Ash takes the snap, nearly fumbled. It is fumbled, but caught in midair by Henry Adams. The ball was behind him on the snap from Ash. Adams went to take off, realized he did not have the package secured, and had to dive backward. So, again, you're not going to praise the miscues, but a little bit of heroics there by the junior to avoid a turnover.
Yeah, can we get a check on these footballs? They're playing with a bar of soap out there, both teams.
Been tough, particularly the last 2 drives for either of these teams in the running game. It'll be a loss of 2, 2nd and 12 from their own 40. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Elsner, the man in motion. Ash takes the snap. Handoff Adams up the middle, breaks 1 tackle, and then it is jumped on from behind for a gain of 2. That'll be Charles Hansel on the stop for the Cardinals. Called a gain of 4. It'll be 3rd and 8 from the Roncalli 44.
Back in 2006, Jimmy, I was a freshman at Roncalli, and the legend Steve Wilson would tell us, if you're going to wear gloves, that's fine. The first time you fumble, they're gone. We'd have a few players without gloves right now if he was the head coach.
I believe that. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right on this 3rd and 8 with 6:40 to go in the second quarter. 23-6 Royals. Adams in the backfield with Ash, who's in the gun. Cardinals show blitz. Ash takes the snap. Pressure comes quick out to Elsner, and he catches it on the far right side near the first down marker. But it'll be about a yard or 2 short. And it'll be decision time for the Royals with a 17-point lead in hand. 4th and 3.
Yeah, it's a positive gain, and obviously Elsner was open, but Parker Doherty was streaming up the seam there. Nobody on him. Would have been an automatic touchdown there.
They're going to let the offense play. 4th and 3 from Roncalli's own 49-yard line. It was a hard count opportunity there by Ash. Let's see if they're trying to draw him off, and that was indeed the game plan. As Coach Quintana calls timeout. We'll take one as well. 6:29 to play here in this second quarter. Actually, we've burned all our breaks, so we will stay here. But all the same, 6:29 to play in this second quarter. Roncalli out in front by 17. I made the, just because I like to, I borrowed it from Ron Rivera, but the riverboat Quintana mentality was at times in full force a year ago, but a lot of inexperience, and with a young quarterback in relief here in Colin Ash, you expect anything but the punting unit out here after this timeout?
No, I totally expect him to be who he is. You don't change your philosophy. Coach Quintana is an aggressive coach, and he wants his players to do the same. So I would totally expect them, especially with this lead. You feel good about what you're doing right now.
A little heavy set?
Yeah, I mean, keep your foot on the gas here and see what you can pick up, because you can really put this game out of reach if you can sustain a drive here.
Well, they are indeed at least showing like that's going to be their play. I did not see a pooch putt once last year, but hey, you always just throw it out there just in case. It'll be 4th and 3 from the Royals' own 49-yard line. 6:29 to play in this first half. They lead it by 17. In the gun is Ash Adams right next to him. They'll be a keeper to Ash, I beg your pardon. He's going to try to get to the sticks. He's shoestrung tackled at the he was at the 45 when he got tackled, but he stayed on his feet, tried to dive towards the marker, and he's just short.
Yeah, a play we haven't seen yet, Jimmy, and they clearly thought they had something there. I think Southport just did a good job. We had numbers, but the defenders were able to beat their blocks and just catch Colin by the shoestrings there to force the turnover on downs.
So it will indeed be a turnover on downs, and the ball will be right at midfield. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 50 for the Southport Cardinals, something for their side to try to build momentum off of, turning the Royals over on downs. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left, Calvert in the gun. 2-step drop, looks, has all day. Pressure starts to come, it closes on him, and he'll throw to the far sideline. Incomplete, just throwing it away. Marty Babcock was there as the Royal that brought that pressure, that forced things into a bad spot for Bryce Calvert. Had to get rid of it.
Yeah, good coverage down the field by the Royals. Smart play by the quarterback to just chuck that into the stands. And reset and see what you can do here. So 2nd and long for the Royals. This is a big play in the game. You don't want to give the Cardinals life and let them sustain a drive here and maybe put some points up on the board.
Royals will get the ball to start the second half, should be noted, but as Dan mentioned, you want to keep this vice grip on the Cardinals for as long as you can. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left on this 2nd and 10 from midfield. Calvert in the gun, and flags fly. Did the Royals move first, or was it drawn off sides by a false start? It is the latter. Ready to jump was Johnny Jaffe, but he was drawn off on the false start against the Cardinals.
Yeah, it looked like the left guard was a little antsy to get to his pole, and that's tough when you're a guard in high school football, because it's the most fun you can have is being able to pull and smack somebody in the teeth on the other side of the formation. But, Jimmy, you obviously can't do it before the ball's set.
There are rules for a reason.
There are rules. If there wasn't, it might be entertaining, but it wouldn't be fun.
2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Once again, Calvert operates in the shotgun. Takes the snap. He'll roll right, looking for a pass on the flat to the right side, and it is too high off the fingertips of Donovan Brewer. And it'll be 3rd and 15.
Had his receiver there, but the Royals, with that being 2nd and 15, were totally okay giving up a 3-4 yard hitch and keeping everything in front of them. Luckily for the Royals, too, that ball sailed. So now you got 3rd and 15. Really want to look out for a screen draw here. You don't expect the Cardinals to just run their normal passing routes here with such long down and distance, knowing the Royals will sit back and let you throw in front of them. So screen draw is typically what you call out as a defensive coordinator here to your defense.
3rd and 15 from the Southport 45-yard line. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Calvert, 4-step drop. It is a screen, but the Royals read it the whole way. Tackle was missed, though. Dancing towards the initial line of scrimmage is all that's going to be picked up, but had that been short yardage territory, Royals might have been in trouble. Nyland Compton made the initial tackler miss, but it's still only a gain of about 7, and thanks to that false start, makes it 4th and 8, but the Cardinals realizing that time is of the essence. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. And they have no timeouts to play with, so this is not a we're going to try to draw them off situation. This is we're going, we're running. Calvert takes the snap, and it's a pooch punt, and he did not get any of it. It's scooped high into the air, takes a Cardinal bounce out to the 33-yard line, but it's like trying to attack with a 5-iron, and it turned into a loft wedge is where that happened on that pooch punt by Bryce Calvert.
Yeah, the pooch punt is a popular choice from high school football coaches, but you better have a quarterback that can do it effectively. Otherwise, you might as well just go for it. And going back to that 3rd down play, like I said, it was a perfect time for a screen. They ran that perimeter screen, which they've done a couple times tonight now. And J.J. Prendergrass made a great read on it, but you got to know the down and distance. Shuffle your feet. Just make a sound tackle. You don't need to be on the highlight reel on that play. Get them down. Gave the Cardinals, a point where they could potentially go for it there on 3rd and 8 instead of 3rd and 12 or 13.
Royals will take over off the botched pooch punt there. They'll have it at their own 34-yard line, 1st and 10 with 5:26 to play in this second quarter. Roncalli 23, Southport 6. And they'll move it over to the proper hash. Will be the far left hash as the Royals operate left to right here at Bob Tully Field. One wide receiver to the left, two to the right. Shutley at the very bottom on the right side. They'll send Elsner in motion. Adams in the backfield on Ash's right hip. They'll hand off to Adams, and he has daylight. Has the first down and more to midfield. Thrown forward all the way to the 43-yard line of Southport.
Yeah, he got taken down kind of awkwardly there, Jimmy. A great run by Henry and a great job by the offensive line to open that up, but he got pulled down by his neck there. Almost a horse collar type looking tackle there, but great opening play by the Royals.
It'll be a gain of 23, puts the Royals past midfield, 1st and 10 from the Southport 43-yard line. A wide receiver to the left, two to the right. Give is to Adams once again, and this time he is tackled essentially in the backfield by Fabian Tapscott. Call it a gain of a yard or no gain on the play, depending on where they mark the forward progress. It'll be no gain.
Yeah, Royals went a little tempo there. I think Adams needs a little break. He's going to come off here with Rogan Benich coming back on. Great call by the Cardinals there. They blitzed right into to where the pulling guard was. Were able to get into the backfield before Adams could get to the play side and potentially bust something there.
Ash looks to the sideline on this 2nd and 10 with 4:35 to go in the second quarter. Ball on the Southport 43-yard line. Two wide receivers to the right, one to the left. Ash claps once, takes the snap, give us to Benich. He has a hole, and he'll pick up 6. Give or take on that carry to set up 3rd and manageable.
Great job by Charlie Elsner there, the H-back, tight end H-back, whatever you want to call it. He's off the ball, so we call it an H-back because he can motion back and forth. But great job by him to be able to slide in, get good position on his defender, and create that vertical seam for Rogan. Charlie's a really experienced player, and he's going to catch some passes too, but I think what the coaches value most about him is his blocking ability.
A wide receiver on either side, Sweezy to the left, Shutley to the right. 3rd and 4 from the Southport 37-yard line. Ash in the gun. Sends a man in motion. Takes the snap. Give us to Ben Brandenburg. He'll find a hole. Bounce it outside and stays on his feet to the 25-20. It's a race to the pylon. 15-10-5. Touchdown Royals. Ben Brandenburg, a 37-yard scamper. And the Royals extend their lead.
Excellent run by Ben there. Again, you had the pulling guard, Johnny Jaffe, leading the way, making the crucial block at the second level, and then it was all Ben from there. He cut outside to the Southport sideline, and he's probably the fastest player on the field, one of the fastest players in the school. Track athlete, shout out Coach Litz, and you can see that track speed there on display.
29-6 Royals. Whistler on for the point after try. Good snap, good hold. PAT is good. 3:31 to play in this second quarter. All Royals in this first half of the season opener. The 55th season of Royals football at that. 30-6 Roncalli. Back in a moment on the Roncalli Media Network.
Meet Zach. Zach rides everywhere, day and night, rain or shine. At Indiana Members Credit Union, we know Zach. We know he's been saving up for a car. We're here to help Zach and you. Now get pre-approved for auto financing with great low rates. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters. Rates subject to credit approval and valid on purchase of 2020 or newer vehicles. Learn more at imcu.com.
This is Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
Four plays, 66 yards, and a $155. Capped off by a 37-yard touchdown run from Ben Brandenburg to make it 30-6 Roncalli. With 3:31 to play in this first half, along with Dan Lauk, I am Jimmy Cook. Levi Whistler's kickoff is an end-over-ender, taken to the 10-yard line, returned to the 15, now 20. 25-30 before finally being brought down was Ricky Sanders. And for Southport, it's been as simple as, it's a calm, cool, collected return there. No fumbles, no miscues, and a positive gain at that. Not just a simple touchback to the 20. They'll start this drive off at the 29-yard line. Royals desperate to keep them out of any points opportunities. Cardinals desperate for some type of pulse to get back in this ballgame.
Yeah, I mean, outside of that long touchdown, and Southport hasn't been able to move the ball. It's been an impressive showing by the Roncalli defense.
1st and 10 from the 29. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. It's a handoff up the middle, and absolutely stonewalled initially there was Campbell.
Great job by the defensive front. You know, you talk about losing a lot of experience there with Luke Schwartz, Trevor Lauk, Brady New playing some of that. You got Sam New in there who has some experience, but, you know, I've already mentioned him a couple times tonight, but David Wilson's looked really good, and Ciso's looked really good out there. So great showing up front from the Royal defense.
It'll be a gain of 1. Brody Heidelberger was there, as was Prendergast. Prendergast having himself a heck of a game. Royals changing late in formation. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Running back on either side. The give is to the right side. And there to eat it up right away on that far left side for the Royals was Heidelberger once again.
Yeah, it's a good thing to note here, Jimmy. That's the first time the Royals have seen 2 backs in the backfield. One of the things I noticed watching film is if you look at this Southport offense and their base offense, it's very similar to what Roncalli does. So it's what this defense has seen all summer. You don't feel any different coming into this.
We'll keep it here with 2:35 to go in this first half. As you evaluate where we've been to this point, and we're going to expand long form at halftime, but yes, you've been gifted turnovers, mental miscues, hiccups from Southport, but additionally, the bread and butter of Roncalli football traditionally has been dominate the running game, dominate the trenches, and we've seen that blueprint to success so far tonight, which is a very positive sign.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like I said earlier, you know, you want to stick with who you are. You don't want to try to be something you're not just because, hey, we don't have the Division I guys that are at, you know, Iowa and Northern Illinois now on the line. We're a running football team. Roncalli's been like that since the school was started, right? So be who you are, dominate the trenches. That's how you win 4A state championships.
3rd and 6 for the Cardinals from their own 33-yard line. Once again, 2 men in the backfield on either side of Calvert. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. It's a screen that's batted down immediately before it could even take off by Dylan Henry. He came full speed ahead at Calvert, knocked it away, and the Cardinals will be forced to punt with 2:32 to go in this second quarter.
Yeah, calling his name again. So Dylan Henry playing that strong side outside linebacker spot. They sent him on a blitz that time, and it did a great job settling his feet, getting his hands up in the air. He's a long kid, and being able to get his fingertips on that ball, shut down that play, which could have been a first down.
Sam Rader back to return. Nearly blocked. That punt is going to take a bounce at the 40 to the 35. Rader scoops it to the 35, works the sideline to the 40, 45, 50, lowered the hit stick Madden style at midfield before he's finally brought down. A flag does fly in late, however. Let's see where this flag goes. Sam Rader lowered the boom.
When you talk about the archetype of a punt returner, Jimmy, you want somebody who is, and I could say this because he's my cousin, he's got a couple screws loose, right? Sam Rader is a competitor, and he is not going to let the ball just sit there to be down. He's going to go try to find some contact. He's a tough competitor, a tough kid, and that's huge for field position, even though we're going to get the penalty here.
It is going to go against the Royals. There's a look at, for those of you on the YouTube feed, that replay. Shout out to everybody with A.J. Avalong and his student production crew highlighting that, but that penalty is going to negate this. They'll call a blindside block against the Royals. Tough to tell from our vantage point where exactly they found that penalty, but either way, it'll move things back to the 36-yard line of Roncalli. So 1st and 10 with 2:21 to go in this second quarter. Royals out in front, 30-6. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ashen shotgun as Adams to his left hip. Takes the snap. Pressure comes. Stays poised in the pocket. Throws over the middle. And it's caught on a dart by Sweezy. And he's got a blocker to the 30. 25-20. 15-10. 5. Touchdown Royals. A 64-yard strike from Colin Ash to Christian Sweezy. And the Royals pulling away here in the first half.
Jimmy, I was just about to say you've got 2 timeouts, 2:20 on the clock. You don't need to hurry. You don't need the big play right now. And what do? They shut me up and go, 60 yards right away. Great strike from Colin. Great catch by Sweezy. And fantastic block by Jonathan Parrott out there to spring that one loose as well.
You look at that on the replay. Again, this is just for our YouTube audience, but an excellent block by Parrott and great vision by Sweezy. To follow that through, extra point is good. Sweezy easily could have kept on his path, but he saw the block to perfection, utilized it with his vision, and takes it on a house call. 37-6 Royals with 2:10 to go in this second quarter on the Roncalli Media Network.
Meet Zach. Zach rides everywhere, day and night, rain or shine. At Indiana Members Credit Union, we know Zach. We know he's been saving up for a car. We're here to help Zach and you. Now get pre-approved for auto financing with great low rates. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters. Rates subject to credit approval and valid on purchase of 2020 or newer vehicles. Learn more at imcu.com.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
Back here at Bob Tully Field, another kick return fumbled and nearly lost for the Southport Cardinals with 2:07 to go in the second quarter. Hey, Dan, I have an idea of what's going to be a point of emphasis in the Southport locker room at halftime.
Yeah, maybe tape everybody's hands up. What is that stuff they call it? The
stick 'em?
Yeah, the stick 'em, stick 'em all over their gloves. Yeah, I mean, it's been both sides of the ball. We've seen Roncalli bobble a couple as well, and it is early in the season. It's humid out, although it is a beautiful night. Sometimes week one you can get 90 degrees and can barely breathe. So, unfortunately, looks like we got an injury down there for the Cardinals.
Timeout on the field for that injury. We'll keep it here. We burned all our breaks. 2:07 to go here in the second quarter. Royals out in front, 37-6. And that last one, again, an opportunity for the sophomore and Colin Ash to stay poised in the pocket, hook up with Sweezy, and then the yards after the catch, you mentioned the great block by Parrott as well. A complete, total dominance of that particular package by the Royals on all three phases.
Yeah, good protection by the offensive line as well. And it's the first time we've seen Colin sit in the pocket a little bit. And he is an athlete. I mentioned before the game, he plays multiple sports. He's a really good athlete. So, he's comfortable on the run and on those rollouts that they've been having him on. But to be able to set your feet and really fire one in there with that left-handed arm, it was a really nice strike. And then again, can't emphasize more the block by Jonathan Parrott on the perimeter there to spring that loose for a touchdown. 2 minutes left on the clock here. You still have 2 timeouts. To tighten up here defensively, potentially get the ball back again would be huge for the Royals.
As you look at this young defense, I know you have there's been a number of highlight makers that we've had to this point. Dylan Henry among them, J.J. Pendergast among them, David Wilson up front. How impressed have you been with the defense to this point?
I mean, incredibly impressed, Jimmy. And, that nothing against Southport, but the talent will increase as the season goes on. But this is a great start for a young defense and a great confidence builder for them.
2:07 to play in this first half. Royals in front by 31, 37-6. First and 10 for the Cardinals from their own 12-yard line. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. It's a handoff to Campbell, and he is met with resistance right away by Ben Brandenburg. Might have gotten a yard, perhaps 2. Bring up second down.
Yeah, power look there from the Cardinals. It seems they want to be as conservative as possible and maybe get to the half without getting the ball back to the Royals. We'll see how aggressive Coach Quintana is here with his 2 timeouts.
Well, the Royals will indeed receive the football to start the second half. So that is fascinating to see the level of aggression they're going to throw on the defensive end. 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left, and the Royals might have came across early.
Penalty flag on the play.
They did indeed. I'll set up second and 3, I beg your pardon, and move it up 5 yards. Yeah, now on the 19 of Southport.
I believe I misspoke. It looks like we have one timeout left, but don't want to do that there. No unforced errors on this last drive. Let's just play sound football, keep everything in front of you.
2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Southport. Man in the backfield is Campbell. Calvert takes the snap, gives to Campbell. He'll fight forward and be wrapped up by 3 Royals. Johnny Jaffe among them. Bring up 3rd and short.
We talked pregame, Jimmy, about doing your job, and there was so many Royals at the football there, and there was one Royal who was not, and that was Sam New, and that's because he was on the ground with 3 Cardinals on top of him. You look at that and you say, oh, man, Sam got beat. Absolutely not. He took on a triple team and allowed his teammates to go rally to the ball. So he's doing his job. They're playing good team defense right now.
3rd and 2 with 50 seconds to go in this first half from the Cardinals' own 20. Give is to Campbell trying to find the edge. He's wrapped up, and I don't think he got there. Let's see where this is marked. It's going to be close. Is it enough to move the chains?
The white hat is signaling first down, but I think it's a yard short.
It might be a timeout. Roncalli. It might have been his signal.
Yes, you're right.
And that was the key cheat code, if you will, for what I was trying to evaluate if it was a first down or not, is if that clock stops right away, that could either be move the chains or it could be the Royals using that last timeout, knowing that 4th and 1, surely, I mean, we talk about if you're at the 40 or the 45, okay, maybe you're Southport and you roll the dice here, but if you try to go for it here and get stonewalled, then you're effectively inviting the Royals for 6 more free ones before we get to halftime.
Yeah, and the last time the Cardinals were out there to punt it away, Dylan Henry nearly blocked it. So special teams have been a bit of a disaster so far for the Cardinals.
You can't rely on that. It's a lose-lose across the board for Southport.
Yeah, you absolutely, if you're the Royals, you want to pin your ears back. Luke Cyphers, the special teams coordinator, is surely going to want to get aggressive here and go after this ball and see if they can maybe get that clock running in the second half.
Cardinals break the huddle first. 44 seconds to go in this first half. Roncalli 37, Southport 6. It's 4th and 1 for Southport on their own 21-yard line. And the offense is out there, and there's no timeouts to back out of this. We did see a pooch putt once, but it was a loft wedge at best in terms of the distance that was there. And as you mentioned, Dan, if that's what you're going to have, you might as well just go for it. They'll sneak it, try to push the pile ahead. Royals think they've stopped them, and that mark, I believe, is going to be enough to move those chains. Let's see. No signal yet. All going to be about where they've marked this ball. The white hat lead official looks and signals first down. The QB sneak enough to move the chains. Clock will temporarily stop while the chain gang gets set in order. That'll be 1st and 10 for Southport. Ball in the 22, their own 22, in fact. Clock runs, 30 seconds to go, first half. Royals lead it by 31. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. A man in the backfield is Campbell next to Calvert. He'll take a 3-step drop. Now he'll scramble, roll right, pressure coming, trying to get free. He will evade the tackle and gain about 2 near that far sideline. Giving chase the entire way was Johnny Jaffe, who's still on the turf at the 13-yard line.
Yeah, he's in some pain. He's got a teammate stretching him out, so hopefully it's just a little bit of cramps. But good job by the Royals there. You call that scramble drill when the play extends there a little bit. If you're a DB, you want to find your receiver, get your eyes back to the receiver and off the quarterback, get back in good position and be ready for a chuck. But especially this point of the game with 18 seconds left in the half.
And a good show of sportsmanship there as well. Bryce Calvert of Southport went over to try to help Jaffe up, but by that point the athletic training staff was out there. And again, really stretching him out. You just hope that's all it is just a cramp for the junior. And I can say this because he's made an appearance before as well, a member of the Roncalli Media Network in Johnny Jaffe. He got some girls basketball reps underneath his belt last year. I know obviously the baseball player as well. Aware of many hats as Johnny Jaffe as a junior over at Roncalli.
Well, it's not the first time tonight we've talked about one of our players being either a multi-sport athlete or an individual of multi-talents. I talked to Principal Bonich is, my best friend before the game, and he was talking about the nose tackle, David Wilson. He said, He's a show choir kid. So we've got performers, we've got multi-sport athletes. You know, you love to see that, especially at a school like Roncalli. That's what it makes it so special. You don't have kids that are here being like, oh, you know, I'm just playing football. My goal is the NFL. That's what I want to do. It's a community and a school full of kids who just want to experience the most they can in the 4 years that they're here. And you love that about the school and the community in general.
Johnny able to get up under his own power. Walking a little gingerly to the sideline, but again, you just hope he's okay. So it'll be 2nd and 9, ball on the Cardinals' own 23-yard line. 18 seconds to go in this first half. 3 wide receivers to the left, none to the right. Calvert shouts out directions, has Campbell on his right side now, has him shift over to the left. Royals content to just play with 3 going after the quarterback. Calvert rolls right, pocket collapsing, and he's just going to have to snuff it and run out of bounds. He might have picked up a yard. 7 seconds went by, so 11 seconds left here in the second quarter. We'll call it 3rd and 8.
Royals more than happy to just sit back, keep everything in front of them, and you know, not allow any big plays. I wouldn't be surprised here if the Cardinals just run the ball and take this 1 to half. No reason to take any risks with where you're at on the field here.
They'll call it no gain on the play. So it'll be 3rd and 9. Clock stops because Calvert went out of bounds. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Calvert in the gun. 3-step drop. Looks left. Fires that way. Has a man open. Broken up late in coverage. A.J. Richardson. His name's been called many a time tonight. None better than that one, as it looked like if the catch is made there on that one-on-one is effectively what it turned into, Dan. Caden Asher could have had his second house call of the night if Richardson doesn't make that play.
Yeah, Cardinals went with a little spot wheel there to where they spot the wide receiver and then send their H-back up the seam. Royals looked like they were beat there a little bit, but a great recovery by Richardson. And what he did was it's like a center fielder in baseball. If that ball, you got a long way to go to get to it, you turn your head, you don't look at the ball, you turn and look at the spot that you need to get to. That's exactly what A.J. did there.
Be 4th and 9. Nothing else to lose with 5 seconds to go in this first half. Hopefully not a turnover, though, but the Cardinals will go for this. And a delay of game is called against Southport. So now you almost mercifully just punt this away, Dan? I mean,
I don't think they're confident in their punt game, Jimmy. And I think, you go back to the QB sneak earlier, it's a risky call, but with all the bobbled snaps they've had and everything, I think.
But if you run the ball here and you don't take more than 5 seconds, it's turnover on downs. You're giving the Royals 1 play.
I mean, I would just anticipate their quarterback here, Calvert, to just run around a little bit and chuck it out of bounds.
Launch it deep. Yeah, I mean, that's almost all you can do. 1 wide receiver to the right, 2 to the left, 4th and 14 from their own 18. 5 seconds to go. Calvert will roll right and will let the clock completely run out before throwing it to the sidelines and ending mercifully for the Cardinals. Royals could probably go and lace them up for the half number 2 right out of the gate. But all in all, if you're on the Roncalli side of the ledger, you're thrilled with this opening half. 37-6, Roncalli on top by 31. Royals definitely have some stuff to clean up as well, but on the Southport side, I know we'll get into this in halftime segment number 1, but you couldn't have drawn up a better start for Roncalli and a worse start for Southport through 2 quarters.
You feel for the Southport side because, they had a lot of returners coming back, whereas Roncalli did not. You get that feeling of hope that, hey, let's turn the corner. Let's let this be our season to where we get back to playing Southport football. But I'm really impressed with the Roncalli side so far, and especially the discipline they've had. A few penalties here and there that have hurt us, especially that holding on the goal line. But really clean play, and what I've been impressed with most is recovering from your mistakes. You talk about Sam Rader missing that long touchdown and having his eyes in the wrong spot. Very next series he gets a pick because his eyes were in the right spot. So young players learning on the fly.
Overall, again, I know we're going to dive into this in our first segment, but offensively for the Royals, about as good as advertised, as what was advertised, given all the I don't want to say turmoil, but the changes that have been made along this offense over the last couple of weeks. Been able to rely on the running game to strong effect.
Yeah, I'd been in this position as a coach before, Jimmy. Back in 2018, we had our senior quarterback get hurt And unfortunately, when that happened, we had to bring a freshman quarterback in, and he's a talented kid, but you want to protect them as much as you can. Yeah. And I think Coach Otley's done a good job with his play calling tonight to do that for Colin. You know, you haven't seen any major mistakes from Colin Ash. He's been able to throw the ball pretty effectively. I've been impressed with him so far, and really the offensive line being new faces as well. The offense has been clicking. I've liked what I've seen so far from the Royals.
We're going to take our final break of this second quarter that leads us into halftime, as we will recap the full numbers from both Roncalli and Southport in that first half. A lot of good to dive into from Roncalli, but of course some stuff to work on as well. And then we'll have Dan's adjustments, if any, from where his keys were to start this game and where he feels Roncalli still needs to improve and build upon, but a strong foundation to build upon at the break. Royals lead it by 37-6 at the intermission. Halftime show is up next on the Roncalli Media Network after this 3-minute pause.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
Never lose your drive to deliver. Today's logistics marketplace is an ever-changing landscape where you can make your mark through dedication and passion. At Spot, these characteristics, along with drive and teamwork, form the basis for a rewarding, fast-paced career. Take it from our Roncalli co-founder and our dynamic group of Royals alumni. They've never lost the entrepreneurial spirit that provides the foundation for our continued success. There's never been a time like this, and there has never been a partner like Spot. We're relentless. We are experts. We are accomplished, and like you, we will never lose our drive to deliver. Come find your spot at spotinc.com/careers. Go Royals!
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
At Peterman Brothers, we know how critical AC can be to your comfort.
And we want to make sure you're comfortable in every season.
That's why right now when you install a qualifying AC system with Peterman Brothers, we'll include the furnace for free.
That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free.
And if you schedule today, we'll install your new system tomorrow, guaranteed.
Visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule online in seconds.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, Chip started a family business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building and a new fleet of equipment. At Indiana Members Credit Union, we know Chip. We know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. We're here to help Chip and you with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters. Learn more at imcu.com.
You're listening to Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network. The halftime show has arrived. Let's go back up to the booth.
Back at Bob Tully Field with Dan Lauk, I'm Jimmy Cook. All smiles for the first half of the 55th season of Roncalli Royals football. They lead things 37-6 over the Southport Cardinals. Let's start with the box score basics here at halftime. Roncalli able to dominate things from the get-go in that opening quarter. 16-6 their advantage. Then they tack on three more scores to the tune of a 21-0 second quarter that gave them their 37-6 lead. When you look at a lot of this on hand. As you would expect, the running game has dominated the conversation so far tonight, with the sophomore in Colin Ash leading things under center. 7.3 yards per carry. That's something that any coaching staff around the state of Indiana is going to applaud until the cows come home.
Absolutely, and that's the bread and butter of Roncalli football, is to be able to run the ball effectively like that. And when you're able to do that, you bring more defenders into the box from your opponent. That opens up the passing game. And I think, the Royals have done a great job playing off each other, both in the running game and the passing game. And knowing, we saw the play where Southport loaded the box and the young quarterback, Colin Ash, is able to get the hot to Henry Adams out in the flat. I mean, that's smart football and taking what the defense is giving you.
You had mentioned when the Southport Cardinals were able to get their lone strike of this ball game, and that was that 76-yard strike on what was effectively, it wasn't really a go ball, but it was a quick release on a go route for Caden Asher, that it was a misread by the Roncalli defense, but that they have to be willing to, from a defensive coordinator standpoint, first-year DC Dan Harris has to accept to some extent that those miscues are going to happen for a young group. But to some extent, with the everybody gets in the playoffs setup that the IGSA has, you would almost rather those mistakes happen as early in the season as possible, so it's something you can highlight in your film session and hopefully not make the same mistake twice. Doesn't mean you can't when you're this young and still developing, but not the worst thing in the world if the only score of the game, and who knows what the second half holds, but the only score of the game is that bit of film you can learn from.
You're absolutely right, Jimmy. I mean, it's 9 weeks of learning. Nothing matters until that first week of sectionals. I don't want to say nothing matters. Every game matters. This is special to every kid. But, as a team,
there's always a tomorrow until sectionals.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to be able to build as a team, and you mentioned, Saturday mornings in the film room, what I'm most impressed with, and we talked about it pregame, that mistake happens, you get to the sideline, you make the adjustment on the sideline, you say, Sam, your eyes got in the wrong place. That's all it was, bud. Like, you're a good player. You didn't get beat physically. You just got your eyes in the wrong place. What happens next drive? Eyes in the right place, has an interception. So the game of football doesn't have to be super difficult. It just has to be disciplined. You got to know exactly what your responsibility is. And as a young player, that takes a long time to figure out, but they're doing it on the fly tonight, which is great.
We mentioned some of the stats on our end. This, again, for the YouTube audience, as we got the box score and some of the key numbers up right now. We mentioned the score 37-6, but in terms of just the number of first downs, the yards per carry that we just highlighted, and then a total complete game to this point from the Roncalli offense, 164 yards of total offense. You take out that one play that Southport has, I hate to say this is business as usual against Southport because they are a hardworking program that's trying to get everything off the ground, but you take away that play, and this is as one-sided as the affair was last year with a fully senior-laden group for the Royals.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we talked about, it's demoralizing for Southport, obviously, but it's extremely encouraging for longtime coach here, has been the offensive coordinator, won state championships. Saw him before the game. I said, Dave, what do you think? He said, look, we're inexperienced, we're young, and we're banged up. They've got some kids out tonight that they were expecting to play. But he said the one thing we've noticed throughout the summer is these kids just want to continue to get better, and it's that appetite for success that these kids who weren't part of those state championship runs or the semi-state run last year, they had to sit back and watch. Now it's their turn, and they're taking their turn and running with it.
We're going to take our first break. Halftime at Bob Tully Field, Roncalli in front 37-6. We come back, we'll revisit Dan's keys to the game that we had to start the broadcast, see where the Royals have checked the boxes, see where there's still areas to improve, as Roncalli looking to start the season 1-0 once again and continue their winning ways against the Southport Cardinals. It has been 4 years since the last time Southport tasted victory over the Royals. Roncalli hoping that trend has not changed tonight, and they've set themselves up for that very well to this point. 37-6. They lead it at the break. Halftime show continues after this on the Roncalli Media Network.
At Peterman Brothers, we know how critical AC can be to your comfort.
And we want to make sure you're comfortable in every season.
That's why right now when you install a qualifying AC system with Peterman Brothers, we'll include the furnace for free.
That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free.
And if you schedule today, we'll install your new system tomorrow, guaranteed.
Visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule online in seconds.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
Hi folks, it's Ben Stallings with Beck Service Center. Automotive breakdowns and routine maintenance never come at a good time. Let us help take the stress out of your automotive repairs. With 10 mechanics and 32 bays, we can get you back up and running with minimal downtime. Quality parts, experienced mechanics, locally owned and operated since 1977. Located at the southeast corner of Madison and Edgewood, we are pretty darn good at fixing cars. Let's go Royals.
You're listening to Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field. 37-6 your score at half. Royals in front by 31. Let's take a quick revisitation from your keys to the game as we unraveled things to start season number 55 of Roncalli Royals football. How things checked out so far. The lead is great, but are they checking the boxes you wanted them to?
Yeah, I mean, offensively, my biggest key was finding a rhythm and sustaining drives. Obviously, you've seen that. And Jimmy, if you would have asked Coach Quintana to draw up a halftime box score, an optimal, realistic halftime box score, this is exactly what we would have done. 6 of 8 from his quarterback for 100 yards and a touchdown, 5 different receivers catching the ball. You got 3 different guys running the ball. You got the big plays, a few flags here and there, which is what you want to clean up. But, overall, just the execution has been really, I don't want to say surprising because these are talented football players, but from the inexperience point, surprising to see they look like a team that's played together for a few years.
It's all that he could have asked for when you look at where things were going into this game and the messaging that he kind of expressed to me before the game out on the field. We had a chance to talk to him was, I want the foot to be on the gas for this group, regardless of who the opponent is. But in particular tonight, when it is a Southport group that's hungry, everybody's pointing to us as we're inexperienced, we're going to stumble out of the gate. Try to control as much as you can of that narrative. And they've done so far.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's you got sophomores out there, you got juniors that have never played, you got seniors that have never played. I love that mentality from Coach Quintana. Just put your foot on the gas. Don't play conservative because you haven't been out on a Friday night before. It's football. It's a fun game. It's high school football. Don't take it too seriously. Just go out there and have fun and do what you've been taught.
You highlighted as well 5 different receivers tracked from Colin Ash. Again, hasn't had a ton of volume throws, but he has spread it around to this point and done it to much success when he's gotten those opportunities. That's a good nod for the sophomore.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most surprising thing to me, and it's really impressive. Typically, when you see a young quarterback, he's going to want to lean on the most experienced guy that he has out there, which would be Christian Sweezy or maybe Charlie Elsner. But to hit 5 different receivers, Sweezy, Elsner, Shutley, Brandenburg once, he's got to be a really high IQ kid to be able to do that. And we just had Principal Bonich walk through here and talk about it. He talked to him today at school and said, what's the game plan? He said, Coach Bonich had to cut off the conversation and said, look, I got to go do my job because Colin kept rattling off, like, here's what we're going to do. This is exactly what we're going to do. This is how we're going to win the game, which from a sophomore, that's really impressive.
I mean, and you talk about the pressure and the magnitude of this game and this moment, the pressure of the conversation with the principal in the lead up. I mean, that's got to be right there up at the top of the stress chart, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to admit that because Kevin's my best friend and I don't want to give him too much credit, but you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Last thing before we take our final break, as we know they're going to put a little bit more time back on the clock to give time for both teams to warm up. For the running game in particular, Henry Adams, Ben Brandenburg, we've seen a number of different opportunities across the board. I'd be remiss if I didn't throw Rogan Benich in there as well. He has a touchdown to his name. When you are answering and responding from the departure of Luke Hansen, a historically great Roncalli running back. It can be easy to get lost in that. They have not suffered any of that hesitation or any doubt or misgivings of, oh, we have to be Luke. No, you don't. You need to be yourselves, live within the offense, and it's been to the tune of each one of those running backs scoring tonight.
You're 100% correct, Jimmy. I mean, it's been by committee a little bit, although you see Henry Adams has 15 carries compared to 3 for the other two, but to be able to have that confidence to step in, not just the running backs, but the offensive line as well. I mean, you talk about Roncalli's offensive line last year was not just good, it was historic.
Yes.
I mean, you talk about high-level talent, huge bodies across the board. So to see guys like Johnny Jaffe and Zane Baker to step in there at the guard positions and, not lose a step. You rush for, 150-plus yards in the first half there. You got to be pleased. I mean, there's really nothing to pick at outside of the holding penalty on the 2-yard line going in there to score. I mean, it's really been flawless execution. And even going beyond that, you got 2 rookie coordinators as well, and Dan Harris on the defensive side and Sam Otley on the offensive side. And I've been really impressed with the way they've both called their sides of the ball respectively as well.
We'll take our final break. At halftime, Roncalli leads it 37-6, and the Royals will receive the ball to start the second half. That gets underway when we return on the Roncalli Media Network.
When looking for reliable HVAC professionals, look no further than Ane & Bartram Heating and Cooling. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an emergency repair on a heating or cooling unit, Ane & Bartram are available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Ane & Bartram strive to be the best, so call them today at 317-889-9574. They even have 24/7 emergency service. Call them today, Ane & Bartram, 317-889-9574.
Meet Kate.
Okay, I'll send that report.
Kate juggles a lot working from home. At Indiana Members Credit Union, we know Kate. We know she needs more room. We're here to help Kate and you by offering a special low intro rate on an IMCU home equity line of credit. Today, it's all about Kate. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters. Subject to credit approval, IMCU is an equal housing lender and federally insured by the NCUA. Learn more at imcu.com.
Steve's Flowers and Gifts is your family-owned Indianapolis and Greenwood florist. Our mission is to establish and maintain the highest level of floral value and customer service at comfortable consumer prices. For the best and freshest flowers in Indianapolis and surrounding areas, Steve's Flowers and Gifts has exactly what you're looking for. Check out our wide selection of flower arrangements to make your next occasion memorable. Call 317-787-3431 or visit us at 3150 East Thompson Road. Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
2 quarters down, 2 quarters of Roncalli Royals football to go. Let's go back to the booth with Dan Bauer and the voice of the Royals, Jimmy Cook.
Halftime reaches its conclusion on Bob Tully Field, 37-6. Royals out in front of the Southport Cardinals by 31. Along with Dan Lauk, I'm Jimmy Cook. Royals set to receive the second half kickoff. In terms of an execution standpoint, we know that Southport wants to clean that up. From special team standpoint, though, for the most part, Roncalli has handled their business in that department. Another great sign for the Royals.
Yeah, it's been great so far, and what you want here in the second half is to continue to just maybe evolve your offensive game plan. I'm not talking about chucking it 50 times here in the second half, but do some things you haven't so far so you can get some things on film, and like you said, Jimmy, learn a lot tomorrow in the film session, but continue to keep your foot on the pedal and not give Southport any life here.
It'll be Zach Dozier and Ben Brandenburg back to receive the Southport kickoff. Gerson Torres had to try to boot it away deep, and it is a kick that'll bounce all the way at the 29-yard line and go out of bounds at the 30. So flags will fly, and the special teams miscues continue for Southport. to start this second half.
Yeah, I get the idea there. It was actually a really nice kick from Southport, but, it hit that dead zone for Roncalli and popped up in the air, but eventually got to the sideline, fortunately, for the Royals.
The Royals will have great field position to open things up to start this second half. Roncalli had scoring drives in multiple different ways in that first half. It featured scores from Henry Adams, Ben Brandenburg, and Rogan Benich on the ground. 2 of those for Brandenburg, and then Christian Sweezy, a 74-yard touchdown, or 64-yard touchdown reception in that second quarter. 1st and 10 from the Royals' own 35-yard line. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right, with Ash in the gun. Sends a man in motion. That's Elsner. Takes the snap. Handoff to Adams. He is pushed back and then bounced it outside of the 40. 35, 45, 50, I beg your pardon. And he'll reach the first down marker +6 to boot as the Royals offense right at midfield on a nice 15-yard gain.
Yeah, Benich in there to start the second half, so you hope Henry Adams is okay. He got shook up a little there at the end of the first half, but great job making something out of nothing. That play was supposed to hit the B gap. It was not there, and he bounced it outside for a nice gain.
Good adjustment there by Adams. 3 wide receivers bunched to the left side of the line, 1 wide receiver to the right. That is Kessler. Ash takes the snap. Handoff to Benich. Has blockers in front of him to the 45. Near the line to gain. It'll be a gain of 8. Call it 2nd and 2 as the Royals move into Southport territory on this opening drive of the second half.
Great spot to be. 2nd and 2 is where your play sheet as an offensive coordinator is, roll the dice, pick whatever you want, especially this part of the field. Wouldn't be surprised to see a little shot here, although, with the score being what it is, I wouldn't be surprised for it to stay on the ground either.
Shutley and Sweezy to the left, Kessler to the right. Ash in the gun. Has a man to his left side on 2nd and 2 from the Southport 43-yard line. Handoff to that left side, and it's a foot race all the way to the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Zach Dozier. He gets the handoff. The Royals have been working with multiple hot hands in the backfield. And Dozier gets pay dirt to make it 43-6 Royals, an exclamation point out of the gate in this second half.
Mentioned Coach Litz, the boys track and field coach here at Roncalli, Jimmy, earlier in the first half. Better get that kid's number. That was some explosiveness from the sophomore.
Second level was impressive.
Absolutely, and to get another guy in there running the ball, that's impressive for the depth.
Extra point attempt is no good, though. Second missed PAT for the Royals in this one. So outside of that, it has been green flag racing all around for the Royals. 10:15 to go in this third quarter. Roncalli 43, Southport 6. The Cardinals will have their first answer of this second half when we come back.
Harding Porman is a full-service printing and brand communications company. From creative services and strategy to print, signage, digital output, warehousing and fulfillment, mailing, e-commerce storefronts, and even mobile solutions. They are dedicating to helping their clients get the most out of their brand communication efforts with the quality they can see and results they can be sure of. Get the most out of your brand communications. Certified to be the best, Harding Porman.
This is Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
Three plays, 65 yards in a minute and 45, capped off by a 43-yard touchdown run by the sophomore himself, Zach Dozier. He joins the running back scoring party to make it a 37-point advantage for the Royals. Levi Whistler set to boot things deep. And a render taken at the 10-yard line, now to the 15, 20, 25, 30, full head of steam, 35, 40, and a shoestring tackle going to stop what could have been an exceptional return for the Southport Cardinals. But with how their special teams has been so far tonight, that is an exceptional return.
Yeah, and look at who was in on the tackle there, Jimmy, the kicker. And he's a linebacker, too, like I mentioned earlier in the broadcast. A nice aggressive tackle there by Levi to keep that from being worse than it was. But good starting field position for the Cardinals this time.
Be their best field position of the night Ball on their own 40-yard line. Outside of that turnover on downs that Roncalli suffered in the first half. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 1st and 10 from their own 40. Snap, handoff, around the right side, hurdling one tackler and trying to jump on the outside. On the carry was Jeremiah Stanovic. It'll be a gain of about 5. Make it exactly 5. And it'll be 2nd and 5 from Southport's own 45.
One thing I've been impressive with defensively, Jimmy, is just the technique and tackling. As a coach, you get so caught up in scheme and wanting to do really cool blitz packages and whatnot. At the end of the day, if you can tackle, you're going to be a good defense, and the Royals have shown that they can so far.
Got a couple whistles from the officials. They say their time. Might have been a shoulder pad issue there, an equipment issue from Heidelberger. He'll run to the sidelines. And they'll get a sub in there as well. It'll be Casey Horton, the sophomore, checking in as they fix out that, what I assume is an equipment issue for Heidelberger. Looks like just a face mask on the sideline. 2nd and 5 from their own 45 for the Cardinals. Calvert looks to the sideline for instructions. Now comes back in the gun. It'll be Stanovic to his right hip. 1 wide receiver to the right, 2 to the left. Handoff. Stanovic, left side, cuts it back upfield, lowers the shoulder, and is speared at the marker, right at midfield. That should be enough to move the chains. It will indeed. He picks up 5.
Yeah, I've liked what I've seen from the Cardinals running backs. Unfortunately, they haven't had a bunch of opportunities being behind the sticks, but they've got a couple pretty good athletes back there.
1 wide receiver to the right, 2 to the left. On this 1st and 10 from midfield for the Cardinals. Calvert once again looks to the sidelines. Not an effective half of football anywhere in that first half. Just 3 of 13 for 82 yards was Calvert, and that was with the 76-yard touchdown pass. He'll throw right side on a out route. That's going to be caught and taken to the sideline by Donovan Brewer. Brewer will pick up 4. Make it 2nd and 6.
Yeah, good open field tackle there by the cornerback, Eli Fitzgerald. To limit that to 4 yards is great, especially when you're all alone out there on the perimeter.
2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. 2nd and 6. Ball on the Roncalli 46-yard line. One of the rare times that Southport has been on the opposite side of midfield so far tonight. Calvert takes the snap, 2-step drop, quick pass left side. It's caught and taken there by Compton. He runs forward near the first down marker. He'll have it out to the Roncalli 39-yard line. So that'll move the chains for the Cardinals. We didn't mention it at the top of this drive, but running clock now in effect for the remainder of this ball game, with the Royals leading north of that 35-point barrier, leading by 37.
Yeah, we saw it there on that play. In the first half, Dylan Henry, who's not in the game right now, did a great job bursting out to the flat. Our outside linebacker that last play was not able to do so. That's what allowed Southport to fire it in.
1st and 10. 3-step drop. Running is Calvert. Royals chasing after him. He's going to be able to find the edge, get close to the first down marker, run out of bounds about 2 yards short. And we have some laundry on the field as well in the Roncalli secondary at the 20-yard line downfield. To wait for the call. It's a holding, but it'll go against Southport, I believe. I have a philosophical question I want to ask you as well about holding calls in just a second once we get this official designation. Southport's headed further back, so it looks like it will indeed be against Southport. But again, let's wait for official confirmation. Now they're headed back up front. No, it's going against the Royals. All right, then.
Yeah, it was thrown by the back judge who, there were several receivers in the area, so that I anticipated defensive holding, but they had initially called it holding on the offense, but it does look like it's going to go against the Royals.
So it is defensive holding. So you know me, Dan. You know I'm a Chiefs fan. They're going to move this in addition to the nice run there. That should be enough to – because I don't think you got the first down initially on the scamper. They're going to have the chain gang, I believe, move and reset this as a first down at the 40-yard line. So chains are going to have to move. That's the delay there. Now they do get moved. It'll be a first down for the Cardinals. You know me as a Chiefs fan, and I frequently listen to the New Heights podcast with Travis and Jason Kelsey. And Travis is talking about how oftentimes whenever they have the red jerseys on, opponents are going to wear red gloves because it's harder for referees to recognize holding because it blends in. Handoff will wait till they answer after this play. It's going to be bounced outside of the 20. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Cardinals. a hole opened up for Stanovic. Ever since they made that switch at running back and they went further down the depth chart, Southport's running game has opened up, and they're able to cut into this Roncalli lead, but still have a Mount Everest-like climb to go, particularly with running clock in play, 43-12. We'll address that play first before we get into my tangent. Looked like some nice blocking. What do you see on the Roncalli defensive side of things? Anything?
I mean, the first half, it was all self-inflicted for Southport, so they put together a nice little drive there to come up with 6 and now 7 with the PAT.
Point after try is good. Makes it 43-13 with 4:22 to play in this third quarter. We will keep it right here because I want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Lay with the story, might as well. So, again, we're looking at New Heights podcast, Travis Kelsey, Jason Kelsey. I believe they had Julian Edelman there as well. They were talking about how every time they wear red, they know that corners, defensive linemen, you name it, are going to be repping red gloves because it's harder to read. From your coaching standpoint, is that something you had thought of? Because me as the non-coach, just the broadcaster and the fan, it's so simple and easy, but I never thought of it before.
Yeah, no, I haven't either, and it's very interesting, and Travis Kelsey and Jason Kelsey both are, fantastic and smart football players. Honestly, though, Jimmy, if I'm a high school football coach, that's the last thing I want my kids thinking about.
We're levels ahead in terms of where that needs to be said.
Absolutely.
But you talked about the gloves earlier and how if you're losing the football, it might be a takeaway of that privilege to be able to rep the gloves, and just maybe think back to that story of the higher you get in this sport, the margins are so thin that you need to do whatever you can to get an extra edge, and sometimes it's as simple as gloves.
Yeah, and you talk about at that level and at the high school level too. You hear defensively, they can only call pass interference so many times, or they're only going to call holding so many times. So be as aggressive as you possibly can be and make them call it. That mindset of just being – finding any little way you can to get an advantage is something you definitely need at the NFL level. Not as much at the high school level, but it still comes in handy, obviously.
4:22 to play here in this third quarter. The Royal lead has been cut to 30, 43-13, as Roncalli set to receive the kickoff. Zach Dozier, Ben Brandenburg back to receive for the Royals. Torres puts a leg into it. That'll be a sidewinder at the 20. It'll be taken at the 20, the 25-30, before finally being forced out of bounds. It's Parker Doherty taking that short kick. And the Royals will operate from about their own 30-yard line.
Yeah, and I talked, Jimmy, about adjustments on the sideline for both the offense and defense. It's a lot harder to do that for special teams because you don't get that chunk of time as a special teams unit because those players are playing on the offense and defense as well to sit down and regroup. And we saw on the last kickoff from Southport, they were able to find that dead zone, and it went out of bounds, luckily, for the Royals, but it was a dangerous kick. But you could see there Coach Cyphers was able to make some adjustments to where they weren't able to get away with that again and potentially recover a little pooch kick.
I was going to ask you with how much turnover there's been on the Roncalli roster, when do you go to the second unit? I'll elaborate that in a second. But they have, to some extent. Simon Wellman now in the gun. He gives a handoff, and the Cardinals read it the whole way. That'll be one of the few negative running plays of the night for Roncalli. They handed it off to Benich, and he was deep-cleated by 3 Cardinals. It'll be a loss of 4 on the play, so second and 14. But with the absence of Jaden Buchanan and him being week to week and Colin Ash being the sophomore coming in and relief third man on the depth chart, you wonder, when does the Roncalli coaching staff go further down because of the lead? The answer is now with Simon Wellman out there. Second and 14 from Roncalli's own 28-yard line. Pressure comes. It breaks through. Wellman lofts a pass into the secondary and nearly picking up the receiver. In fact, picking up the receiver and throwing him to the ground was Braylon Koenig. Almost like a pile driver, nearly. Officials say play on, and it'll be 3rd and 14.
A lot of pressure there from the Cardinals' defense, and lucky to get the ball away. Almost made a nice catch there, but a nice hit by the Cardinals' safety.
2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Wellman, the fellow sophomore, looks over for instructions. Has Rogan Benich in the backfield to his right. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Cardinals once again show blitz on 3rd and 14 from the Royals' own 28-yard line. Handoff, give us to Benich, and he's tackled for maybe a gain of 1. So Roncalli again with a comfortable lead, leading by 30 as we are into the inside of 2 minutes here in this third quarter. Content, as we mentioned, give more depth pieces some playing time and not forcing anything on that drive.
Yeah, it's really hard when you go from being a really experienced team, and there was a lot of games like this last year where you get a big lead and you get some guys in there to get more experience. You're talking about a lot of kids out here that are starters that don't have experience, and now they're out because of the big lead, and now you got kids who really haven't seen the field, which is good. I mean, you want to get as much experience throughout the roster as you can, but it's going to be tough. Southport's a 6A school. They've got a lot of talent on that side of the ball, and from everything I've seen, they haven't switched out to their second
unit. No, they've not. I was going to say that. It's still the ones out there on the Southport side of things.
Yeah, and Royals, obviously the running clock helps, but you don't want to have too many more 3-and-outs and give the ball back. And, Coach Quintana is telling his guys now, hey, look, this is your chance. Lights are bright. You got a big crowd watching you. It's a good time to get yourself on film so you can be noticed on Saturday mornings. That's how you're going to get more playing time, so make the most of that opportunity.
As you look at that balancing act, in theory, barring just absolute chaos, this lead feels extremely safe for Roncalli, but it is one of those where you have to walk that tightrope of if they're still going to play the ones, you need to make sure that you keep things level in terms of however you're operating.
Yeah, you got to be careful, especially with, the lead, part of it being from Southport having so many self-inflicted turnovers.
Whistler, a nice spiraling punt. It's going to take a Roncalli bounce at the 45, and it will roll to the 37-yard line of Southport. So another good punt there by Levi Whistler, and that is where the Cardinals will set up their second drive of this second half. Trying to put together back-to-back scoring drives for the first time tonight. Under a minute to go in this third quarter. Running clock in full effect. And the Cardinals, again, to this point, it appears to still be the ones out there for them.
Yeah, and I don't blame them for that, obviously. They're the team that's trailing, but also for the rest of their season, obviously they have a long way to go. They're a 6A school, tough schedule, so to get as much experience for them as well is really valuable.
Two wide receivers to the left, one to the right. Calvert in the gun. It's a handoff to the right side. Royals able to sniff it out, but still a positive gain of about 2 in what will likely be the final play of this third quarter.
You're seeing the Royals win the battle. We talk about the battle in the trenches, but when you get in modern offense with all these perimeter runs and these screens to the perimeter as well, winning the battle at the line of scrimmage on the perimeter is a big deal too, and Roncalli's done it on both sides of the ball, blocking with their wide receivers and being able to beat the blocks as defensive backs as well.
3 quarters in the books. 1 quarter left to play. Roncalli 43, Southport 13. Final frame when we return on the Roncalli Media Network.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
At Peterman Brothers, we know how critical AC can be to your comfort.
And we want to make sure you're comfortable in every season.
That's why right now when you install a qualifying AC system with Peterman Brothers, we'll include the furnace for free.
That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free.
And if you schedule today, we'll install your new system tomorrow, guaranteed.
Visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule online in seconds.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field. 2nd and 8 for the Cardinals. It'll be a gain of about 3 on the play on the handoff. Call it 3rd and 5. Alongside Dan Lauk, I'm Jimmy Cook. Thanks so much for spending part of your Friday night with us here on the Roncalli Media Network, the first of many a Friday night of Roncalli Royals football. So glad football is indeed back as the Royals out in front, running clock in effect by 30. Calvert looks to the sideline for Southport, now adjusts things to the line. Has 2 wide receivers now bunched to the right and 1 to the left. Takes the snap. Quick two-step drop. High pass near the marker. He's going to have the first down.
Yeah, good execution there from the Cardinals, but if you're the Royals, you'll allow that every time. It's just a 6-yard gain with the running clock. The clock doesn't stop on the first down anymore, so keep everything in front of you, play sound discipline defense here, get good experience for the second unit.
1st and 10 from the Southport own 48-yard line. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 3-step drop rolling to the right. Now scrambling is Calvert. Pressure comes, and he's going to get to the sideline and pick up a couple. We'll call it 4.
And Calvert's one of the Cardinals that's returning with experience. He's a pretty good athlete back there, and that's the second time now I've seen what you call a bomber on defense. So an inside linebacker on a rollout, his job is to go get the quarterback, whereas an outside linebacker in coverage needs to stay back in coverage. So I've seen it twice now from the Roncalli Bombers, going after the quarterback but not taking great angles. It's those young kids still getting used to the speed of the varsity game.
Casey Horton, the one that forced out Calvert on the carry. 2nd and 6. Ball on the Roncalli 48-yard line. They send a man in motion with a wide receiver on either side. And a timeout's going to be taken by Southport. We will take one as well. 10:03 to play here in this fourth quarter. All Royals over the Cardinals, 43-13.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in Central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
This is Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
Out of the Southport timeout, they'll have it 2nd and 6 on the Roncalli 48-yard line with Dan Lauk. I'm Jimmy Cook. 10:03 to play here in this fourth quarter. Royals lead it 43-13. 3 wide receivers to the left, none to the right. Handoff up the middle, adjusting and bouncing off his own man on that carry with Stanovic. He'll have the first down yardage and add on about 5 yards as well inside the 40 of Roncalli territory. In fact, right past the 40. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 39. That switch to Stanovic. I understand there's a lot of second unit guys out there for Roncalli as well, but running game has looked a little bit sharper for Southport. Now they'll go a jet sweep pitch pass, trying to bounce it outside. Flags fly. Whether that's formation or holding issues, we'll get the clarity in just a second, but either way, that's coming back.
Yeah, and even without the penalty, I talked about it previously, but the Royals are just doing a great job on the perimeter, and you can tell they've worked on it in practice, just fighting off those blocks on the perimeter and those outside runs, whether it be the jet like that play or an outside zone run, anything like that, the option they had earlier. The Royals have really dominated the run game, both interior and exterior.
Bump it back 10 yards. Be 1st and 20 from the Roncalli 49-yard line. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Calvert in the gun, once again Stanovic to his right hip. Royals initially show pressure. Now Calvert will look to the sideline. 15 on the play clock. Takes the snap. Quick out and a screen, and the Royals read it the whole way. Shoestring tackle and a diving effort on the stop for the Royals.
Yeah, a little spot route there to the field to Southport's sideline, and that's the 3rd time Eli Fitzgerald's done a great job breaking up on that quick route and making a good tackle in space.
Called a gain of 2. Maddox Hayworth there on the stop. 1 wide receiver to the left, 2 to the right. 2nd and 18 from the Roncalli 47. Running clock in full effect, 8 minutes and counting. Royals lead it by 30. Calvert looks left, pump fakes, now fires, deep, aerial attack. It is caught in stride. Touchdown Cardinals. Nyland Compton for 47 yards. And Southport for the second time tonight has an aerial conversion for 6.
That was a heck of a throw, Jimmy, and right on the money, and he didn't look anywhere else. He knew with the formation that he was getting that, Calvert wanted to go that way, and again, a good ball right on the money. Not much you can do about that as a defense if you're Roncalli.
Southport set to attempt the point after try. Gerson Torres awaits the snap and the hold. Good snap, good hold. PAT is good. 7:08 to play in this final quarter. Royals lead down to 23, but of course running clock still in full effect. 43-20 Royals on the Roncalli Media Network.
At Peterman Brothers, we know how critical AC can be to your comfort.
And we want to make sure you're comfortable in every season.
That's why right now when you install a qualifying AC system with Peterman Brothers, we'll include the furnace for free.
That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free.
And if you schedule today, we'll install your new system tomorrow, guaranteed.
Visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule online in seconds.
You're listening to Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field. I don't know if Southport were just lined up on the wrong side or if they were just getting loose or what had happened, but we saw quickly both teams bolt in opposite directions as we get set for this kickoff attempt from Southport.
Yeah, it's Party in the USA on the loudspeakers, Jimmy. I'd get confused too. This is my jam.
I mean, I guess it was weird. It was almost like it was designed like a team trying to have a confusing formation to throw things off, but they were getting ready on the other side of the field, and now they set up. Are we getting a hands team action here, do you think? Or is this still just a little low kick to about the 35-yard line that's been tradition for Southport tonight?
Yeah, I'd expect them to try to hit it right at about the 30 there in that dead zone. So hopefully the Royals are ready for it.
It will be popped up ahead of the 30. It'll take a bounce to the 20. Royals scoop it up at the 30-yard line, and that is where a dog pile will ensue. But Roncalli with the football secured with 6:55 and counting on the running clock here. Royals lead at 43-20. Alongside Dan Lauk, I'm Jimmy Cook. Roncalli well on their way to once again winning their season opener. And it's been an impressive performance from start to finish so far. Royals will break the huddle and now trot out to the 31-yard line. You gotta go all the way back to the 2019 season, the last time the Royals lost an opener. That was, ironically enough, to Southport, 35-10. Two wide receivers to the left, one to the right for Wellman. And correction, that's not Wellman back there. I beg your pardon. Pass is complete either way on the left side to Dozier. That'll be a loss of 2. Call it 2nd and 12.
Yeah, it looks like Dozier's in there at quarterback. They have him listed at quarterback on the roster, but after that touchdown run earlier, he is in there at running back, isn't he? We got all kinds of numbers back there.
Was it Sam Rader out there in the gun? The 25?
Yeah, we've got,
Takes the snap. No, it's 29, I beg your pardon. That pass is high. No, it can't be 29. We've gotten into silly territory now.
Yeah, I don't have 29 on the roster, but we'll figure it out.
I'm saying it's 25 from my vantage point. You have a better angle. What do you say?
I think it's 29.
Well, if it is a 29, it did not make the Roncalli, not make the Royals roster sheets. We'll try to get to the bottom of that as things unfold. Dominic Cromer. Shout out to Coach Mike Morelli with the assist there. So Dominic Cromer airs it out left side, and that pass falls incomplete to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, Dominic got a little antsy there, released a little. You got to let that play develop a little bit more, that corner from the slot. Eventually would have broken open there, I believe, but threw it a little bit too early, understandably so. You're in the bright lights of Roncalli Stadium on a Friday night. Probably didn't expect to get in there chucking passes tonight.
Well, the answer why Cromer's not on the roster sheet, he's getting the call up from the freshman.
Oh, there we go.
So that's why.
Fantastic. He's playing tomorrow morning. he needs to be in bed. Come on, Coach Hauser.
Hey, when PT calls at this level, you got to answer the bell.
Absolutely.
Be 4th and 12. The Royals will get set to punt this away with 4 minutes to go. That is a nice spiraling sidewinder that's taken and fair caught at the 38-yard line. 3:55 and counting to go. You know, you'd love to play the what-if game, but again, there's so many different elements here. Roncalli's so deep down the depth chart, as no more perfectly emphasized by the fact that we have assistant coaches texting me that freshmen are currently under center, but you can't really play the what-if game if you're Southport. Running clock is at your back. It's a 2nd and 3rd unit situation. Even if you have the ones out there, at best, this is a confidence booster for the Cardinals going into next week.
Absolutely. Yep.
1st and 10 from their own 42-yard line. Hand off to Stanovic, right side, lowers the shoulder, carries a few tacklers, and he'll pick up about 6. 3:08 to go in this ball game.
Cardinals have a new. I can't do these 20 numbers at quarterback, Jimmy. I've never seen anything like this. What is it? Friday Night Lights, where they wear the I forget what number it is, but it's not a typical quarterback number. But so new quarterback in there for the Cardinals as well. Gavin Cummins.
So Cummins in the gun, gets ready to hand off to Stanovic. He bobbled the snap, somehow caught it, gave it right back to Stanovic. He spun out of a tackle. It's going to wind up being no gain on the play. Look, the Royals did what you would ask any defensive unit to do, went straight after the ball carrier and went for the ball when it popped into the air. But we talked about the second half for Stanovic. Again, giving a little love to Southport. That's either a turnover or a 5-yard loss if he is not able to recover that handoff and fight his way back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good player. I've liked what I've seen from both him and their starter as well. It's just been a matter of self-inflicted issues.
2:05 to play. Handoff to Stanovic. Going to try to find the edge, and he will. Couldn't turn it fully upfield, but he gets it just about a yard or two short of the first down marker. It'll bring up 4th and 1, maybe 2, with 1:50 to play in this ball game. Royals lead at 43-20. It'll be 4th and 1 at the Roncalli 49-yard line. Might as well go for it. Nothing else to worry about or stress with Southport. It's victory formation the other side if Roncalli winds up getting this football back. Cummins in the gun. Has Stanovic behind him. Hands off to him. Full head of steam. He'll have the first down, I believe. He will indeed move those chains. Clock continues to run. Running clock in full effect.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of bodies in and out for the Royals now, which is great to see. You get as many kids out there and get experience as you can, and just beyond the experience for the team and winning, it's a magical experience to be out there as a kid on a Friday night under the lights.
2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Cummins in the gun. Stanovic to his left side. Under a minute now. Royals lead at 43-20. Ball's on the deck. Royals have it. Let's wait for the official signal, but it sure looked like there it is. And Roncalli had that football, and it's successfully recovered by Landon Scott, the sophomore, first to it. Or correction, make that, it was Manuel Gutierrez, the sophomore.
Yeah. Again, a young kid getting in there. I mean, you saw him lift up the ball.
It is Gutierrez indeed.
Yeah.
Yep, he was hyped.
He won't forget that for a long, long time. So great job by the young guns getting in there and getting their shot. And, Southport picked up a first down or two, but to really buckle down and keep their momentum from continuing is good to see, especially you talk about kids that are going to be playing tomorrow morning over down the street on Bantha Road.
Royals won't even have to work victory formation. It's victory walk-off effectively as running clock is in full effect. Play clock is turned off. So again, no victory formation needed for the Royals. The running clock will expire. And for a 4th straight year, the Royals open the season 1-0. They take care of business 43-20 over the Southport Cardinals thanks to a dominant, full-throttle first half, exactly what Coach Quintana was asking for.
Yeah, great start for the Royals. Obviously Southport put up some numbers there in the second half, but that's, against kids who have are going to be playing tomorrow on the JV and freshman squads. So you're really happy with what you saw from your first unit. You can't ask for much more than that. The two rookie coordinators and Sam Otley and Dan Harris to be able to call the games they did. You can't ask for much more. And like I said, talking to Coach Burton before the game, Roncalli's also banged up a little bit. They've got a few key pieces. Don Morelli, who's going to get plenty of work at wide receiver. And you mentioned Jaden Buchanan. They got a few guys out that are supposed to be playmakers. So to come out here and just put the game away early and be as disciplined as they were is really impressive.
It was impressive and a monumental start to the season for a Royals group that by some on the outside have been labeled as a transition year. Lost a lot. What are you going to do? How are you going to respond? They put up a 43 spot and a box score that will indicate more effectiveness from the Southport offense than is deserved. This Roncalli defense dominated things when it mattered most. Second and third unit guys, the main reason that it's a double-digit offensive performance for Southport, but you'll take a double-digit win any way you can. The Royals also break a series note between these two programs. We'll get into that in the postgame show as well. Again, our final in this one, Roncalli victorious over Southport 43-20. Indy Teledata postgame show is underway when we come back on the Roncalli Media Network.
At Peterman Brothers, we know how critical AC can be to your comfort.
And we want to make sure you're comfortable in every season.
That's why right now when you install a qualifying AC system with Peterman Brothers, we'll include the furnace for free.
That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free.
And if you schedule today, we'll install your new system tomorrow, guaranteed.
Visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule online in seconds.
Hey, maybe the summer blew by and your child hasn't been to his or her back-to-school eye exam. Let the experts take a look and schedule an appointment today with Vision Quest Eye Care. Vision Quest has 2 locations to serve you and your family in Greenwood and Geist. Visit VisionQuestEyeCare.com and schedule today. That's VisionQuestEyeCare.com. Never lose your drive to deliver. Today's logistics marketplace is an ever-changing landscape where you can make your mark through dedication and passion. At Spot, these characteristics, along with drive and teamwork, form the basis for a rewarding, fast-paced career. Take it from our Roncalli co-founder and our dynamic group of Royals alumni. They've never lost the entrepreneurial spirit that provides the foundation for our continued success. There's never been a time like this, and there has never been a partner like Spot. We're relentless, we are experts, we are accomplished, and like you, we will never lose our drive to deliver. Come find your spot at spotinc.com/careers. Go Royals!
At Peterman Brothers, we know how critical AC can be to your comfort.
And we want to make sure you're comfortable in every season.
That's why right now when you install a qualifying AC system with Peterman Brothers, we'll include the furnace for free.
That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free.
And if you schedule today, we'll install your new system tomorrow, guaranteed.
Visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule online in seconds.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in Central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
This is Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
Back at Bob Tully Field, a joyous crowd leaving Bob Tully Field with a victory in their pockets. Royals victorious tonight, 43-20 over the Southport Cardinals. With Dan Lauk, I am Jimmy Cook. Thanks so much for hanging around with us. The Indy Teledata postgame show is on. Dan, we mentioned with our conversation with Coach Quintana going into tonight and the conversation that we had with him on the field pregame was simply echoing the thought that if they're going to be successful this season, and in particular if they're going to be successful tonight against Southport, it needs to be pedal to the metal out of the gate. No hesitation. Don't be afraid to play within yourself. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. They were neither of those things, and it was the tune of multiple layers to their running attack that led to that lead in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar to our NFL team here, right, Jimmy? You've got a rookie quarterback for the Colts, Anthony Richardson, who they just named as the starter, and, you know, that's the same message that you're getting from Shane Steichen is we got to throw him into the mix. Exact same thing happened here tonight, and I love the mentality from Coach Quintana and the strategy to say, hey, look, guys, you're inexperienced, you're young. That doesn't mean you can't go out there and perform and execute the game plan that we've put together. They've seen it all summer. And, you know, with summers now, Jimmy, you're able to scrimmage so many other teams. You really know what you have versus, you know, 15, 20 years ago. You really didn't know what you had until this first, you know, the scrimmage and then the first week. And, you know, the confidence that Coach Quintana has in his players and his coaching staff to be able to go out there and execute despite the inexperience is awesome, and it really showed tonight.
Overall, Colin Ash thrown into essentially a baptism by fire situation of we understand that you're further down the depth chart than would be asked to achieve these type of roles and not just game management but not be afraid in the pocket at all. He rose to the occasion, had a couple of nice strikes, targeted a number of different receivers in a way that you would expect of a veteran quarterback that is in a season opener, that is trying to just spread it around and not rely on just one target. He wasn't the only reason that Roncalli was successful tonight, but his confidence and not wavering as an underclassman, being shoved into the starting role, really paid dividends across the board with how Roncalli was able to operate with a calm demeanor tonight.
Absolutely. He didn't just look like a senior. He looked like a senior that had played before.
Yeah.
You know, he looked calm, composed, didn't get rattled. You know, he did get pressured a few times, and he didn't let it affect him on the next play. So that's really encouraging for this young Roncalli team to say, hey, we've got a sophomore quarterback that isn't scared to go out there and compete, and it really showed tonight. And, you know, you look at his numbers, 6 for 8, a little over 100 yards, and that's not going to win you many fantasy football games. But you know what? It's incredibly efficient, and if you look at last year, the most successful games that Roncalli had, it was Eric Moyers going 6 for 8, 6 for 9 with 100 yards and a couple touchdowns because you know the running game's going to be there because that's their bread and butter.
222 yards on the ground in total for the Roncalli running game. Again, it's not by one running back this time. To borrow your Colts for just a second, you hope this isn't the case because you hope Jonathan Taylor's back out there at week 1, but very much a by-committee approach for the Colts is what it could end up being for them. For your Roncalli Royals, a by-committee approach that was very successful on all levels.
Yeah, and surprising to me, Jimmy, because when you talk about inexperience, you think, okay, man, they're not going to be very deep, right? Yep. But to be able to come out here and have 3 running backs really that were actually 4. You throw in Dozier there at the end as well, who's listed as a quarterback. He won't be next week because he's a pretty fast kid. You know, to be able to have that depth and really lean on those kids is great, especially when you have an experience and just roll with the hot hand, and that's what they were able to do tonight.
We're going to take our final break. When we come back, we'll have final thoughts and a brief look ahead to next week's contest, the first road trip of the season for the Royals. Another rivalry, though, as they head just a bit of ways across the road to take on the Franklin Central Flashes. But it's a celebration for the Royals with one Southside rival down, that via the Southport Cardinals. Roncalli wins tonight 43-20. We'll take our final break and be back to wrap things up after this on the Roncalli Media Network.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
Hey, maybe the summer blew by and your child hasn't been to his or her back-to-school eye exam. Let the experts take a look and schedule an appointment today with Vision Quest Eye Care. Vision Quest has 2 locations to serve you and your family in Greenwood and Geist. Visit VisionQuestEyeCare.com and schedule today. That's VisionQuestEyeCare.com.
At Peterman Brothers, we know how critical AC can be to your comfort.
And we want to make sure you're comfortable in every season.
That's why right now when you install a qualifying AC system with Peterman Brothers, we'll include the furnace for free.
That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free.
And if you schedule today, we'll install your new system tomorrow, guaranteed.
Visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule online in seconds.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
This is Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
Back here for the final time at Bob Tully Field. Along with Dan Lauk, I am Jimmy Cook. Royals victorious tonight, 43-20 over the Southport Cardinals. A fourth consecutive season where the Royals win their season opener. Not just the home opener, but the season opener at that. We wrapped up the things we were most impressed with from a team standpoint last segment. We'll close tonight, of course, with our player of the game, unofficially, but officially, because they are a sponsor, brought to you by Indianapolis Fruit. I've been trying to pitch, it would be great to have like a basket of fruit that would be given to the player of the game each week. This is free marketing ideas here for a paid sponsor in Indianapolis Fruit. that has never materialized. All the same, though, who's our player of the game this week?
Yeah, chocolate-covered strawberries.
Oh, my God.
You're making me hungry now. Yeah, I mean, starting off, I think there's a lot of places you could point out. I think the defense overall was fantastic and very disciplined. Dylan Henry made a few fantastic plays defensively. Sam Rader was showing up all over the place. The running game, you expect to see that. It's the bread and butter of Coach Quintana's scheme, and then also just Roncalli traditionally. But I think the player of the game tonight is the sophomore quarterback, Colin Ash. Very impressed with just his poise and his composure, and we talked about it in our last segment, but just the efficiency and to be able to go out there and not be rattled. It's your first game under the lights at home. You got all your friends watching you and your family, and you're a young kid. My understanding is he was hurt last year as a freshman too. So you're talking about his first throw at the high school level, didn't get him at freshman level, didn't play JV ball. He's out here all of a sudden under the lights, and he's 6 for 8 for 100 yards. He had the long touchdown pass to Sweezy. Really impressed with Colin Ash and the offense overall, and really the team overall. You can't ask for much more tonight than what the Royals gave.
Well, again, that's Colin Ash rising to the occasion and being there for the Royals as we look at what this quarterback room is going to look like. Again, Jaden Buchanan will be week to week, so it'll be up to the Roncalli coaching staff, the medical training staff as well, and ultimately Jaden himself to figure out when or if we are able to see him next week. But either way, it's good to have one start under your belt for Colin Ash. And, again, he rose to the occasion. He is tonight's Indianapolis Fruit player of the game. Again, Indianapolis Fruit, that's just a free – don't even have to give me a commission, just an idea. Get a little fruit basket to each player of the game as the season rolls on. First broadcast out of the way for you. I know you helped with us in relief last year, but it's a W, just like you'd want if you were a coach. And hats off to you, my friend. I'm looking forward to a fun year.
Well, hats off to you. You're a pro, man. I've grown up listening to Roncalli football. I've been a fan. I've coached. I've played. This media network led by AJ and the students as well did a fantastic job tonight. I'm just happy to be part of the crew and to be out here. I'd be here anyways watching the game, so might as well be in the booth calling it with you. So appreciate the opportunity, Jimmy, and looking forward to next week. Should be a doozy up at Franklin Central.
Yeah, speaking of next week, it'll be another Southside rivalry matchup. This time, though, it takes the Royals onto the road to take on the Franklin Central Flashes. That'll be a audio-only broadcast. If you're part of our RoncalliMediaNetwork.com audience, that's where we get the broadcast. It'll be still a couple weeks' time before we hit things back on to the homestand of things for Roncalli Royals Athletics, because after that, it'll be Roncalli versus Chittard, another road matchup. So you'll be hearing the full painting of the picture and the great analysis from the gentleman to my right throughout these next two road games. Two big tests for the Royals, but it starts with Franklin Central and a program that is being rebuilt year over year there at FC.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big school, number one. So there's going to be athletes in the school, and it's a growing community. It's a program that has a lot of tradition. Obviously, I believe it's our longest standing rival that we've played consistently unfortunately. Don't quote me on that. But obviously a big rivalry, and they've been getting better and better. A lot of returning starters. I know their quarterback's on his third year. So it should be a great game. It's going to be a big test for the Royals, especially going over there. They're going to be excited. I believe they won their game tonight against Perry Meridian. So we'll see what the Royals are made of. Nothing against Southport, but it's going to be a different level of competition next week and the rest of the season, frankly. So to see if we can bounce back, learn from our mistakes this week, and then really come out firing with the same efficiency and discipline next week, I'm confident we will, and it should be a good one.
And we'll have that for you on RoncalliMediaNetwork.com. Kickoff at 7, 6:45 pregame. Myself and Dan Lauk will be, of course, along for the ride. Our next Roncalli YouTube channel and Roncalli Media Network TV broadcast, along with the radio supplemented as well, will be on September 8th, so it'll be next month, the next home contest for the Royals when they welcome in Columbus North. Look, the ever optimist in me says, hey, let's be 3-0 at that point, but if you're able to be 2-1 by the end of this stretch, I'll leave it up for debate of which one you'd rather have, because both those games are peak rivalries. 3-0 is the perfect way, but with this young team, you come out of there 2-1, welcome in Columbus North, hard to not be happy with where things are at.
Yeah, and Jimmy, I've been in this situation as a coach with a lot of inexperience. And you go back to 2018 where you lose a lot of seniors and you got a lot of new faces in there, you're going to expect some bumps, right? So as a coach, you're just preaching, let's not look at the scoreboard. Let's not look at the results. Let's look at our film and see where are we getting better and where do we still need to improve. So if I'm Coach Quintana and the rest of the staff, you'd love to be 2-1, 3-0, but really the most important thing, as you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, is just every week a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, until you get to sectionals, and you should be firing on all cylinders by then.
We can't wait to bring that one for you next week. Roncalli versus Franklin Central, another Southside rivalry chapter as Roncalli look to go to 2-0 on the season. The executive directors of the Roncalli Media Network, Therese Carson and Aaron Hummel. Video operations director, the talented A.J. Ablong and his very well-versed student crew doing a wonderful job with all our camera angles and shots on the Roncalli YouTube feed. My partner in crime tonight, as will be the entire season, Dan Lauk, and of course I'm Jimmy Cook. In our final in this one, Roncalli victorious over Southport 43-20. And until we talk to you next week at Franklin Central, so long everybody.
The 10-time state champions live on your home for Royals football. The Roncalli Media Network.